You mute.
There we go. Hey.
Hey.
Finally back here doing a whole intro. Welcome back to Real Queens Real Talk with a Gentleman's Perspective. I am your host for tonight, Auntie Momo. And on the panel with me tonight, I will let them introduce themselves. Who do we
Y'all
got?
already know me, baby sis, Super Petty Betty, Alky Queen. Hi, y'all. And I'm still eating, so forgive me.
Yeah.
Bam.
So what's up, y'all? I'm Mizzle 14. Y'all know everybody's favorite little best friend, Mizzle.
I love that favorite little best friend. That's cute.
What's going on, y'all?
Who we got down here?
Well, I'm the nice one, so we just gonna go with that. I'm the nice one.
The lies you tell on a Sunday, girl.
Woo! Well, you know, I had to try and slip that in.
Oh, right. You're going to get struck down by all kinds of lightning on a Sunday. God is watching. Okay, he watching and he knowing. What's going on, everybody? How y'all weekend been so far?
Doing good.
Me and hubby, we went to see the Batman last night. That's why I didn't go to sleep till 4 a.m.
Oh,
Batman? What is it? A new Batman movie?
Yeah.
With my future husband.
Yeah, it's a new Batman movie. Yeah.
Listen, I watch YouTube all the time. That's all I watch. I watch YouTube or I'm listening to podcasts. Or if I watch TV, is to watch the shows that I'm reviewing, or if it's something I want to get caught up on. Other than that, I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
Like an old lady saying that.
You do sound like an old lady. But the Batman, Robert Pattinson, a bitch was 3 hours long. Well, 3.5 if you count the previews. I don't care though, and I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again.
If it's good, then it's worth it.
Yes, it's worth it. I'm gonna watch it again.
I mean, if it's good, yeah. Let me think. What's the last movie I watched that was long like that?
The Color Purple, Roots.
The Titanic.
The Titanic.
I never watched the Titanic all the way through. I watched bits and pieces of it just for that. It was too long, and it wasn't gonna hold my attention that long.
Yeah.
Was it Color Girls that long? Or it was 2 hours?
It's who?
Color Girls. That was a long movie as well.
Color Girl. That was a long movie. It's like 2 hours.
Well, wait, Black Panther was 2 hours, but it didn't feel like 2 hours.
It didn't feel like it.
Endgame
was 3 hours, and it didn't even seem like that. And I watch Endgame all day.
You know what else was a good movie, but it was long? What's that movie when was pregnant? With Seth Rogen in it? Damn.
Knocked Up?
Knocked Up. That's what I'm talking about.
That was long. That was
that's already too white for me.
Yeah.
No, that movie was all about white people problems.
It is a little Wonder Bread. Y'all, Opulence says she had a terrible weekend. If somebody won't smoke, she got it and she ready. She says she's sitting on G waiting on Opulence, who made you ride out on? We will gas up the petrol and hop on the first thing smoking and come get her.
Yes, I'm there.
It was great. They sent me home tonight, Brittany. That's because you did something wrong, Brittany. Don't make it seem like it's because you did something wrong. What you do? I'm having phone issues and it's frustrating. Oh damn!
Green Mile was long.
Green Mile was long, but it was good. I like that. That's how I was. Scream had to watch twice, and I still want to go back and nitpick on some stuff. Really, Brittany, it was that good. The Django was long.
Django was good.
Right.
Django was long, but it was good.
That's right. That was
all of Quentin Tarantino movies are long.
Quentin Tarantino can't do no movie that's not good. I'm sorry.
It's short lived.
Do you know what? I've never watched the Django.
The D is silent. It's Django.
The Django. Unchained. Never watched it. You want to know why I never watched it?
Why?
I never watched it. Because the way my temper is set up, I bought the ticket. I was going to go. And then right next to me was some people who looked like mayonnaise. And I was like, see, this ain't going to work. So I'm just going to go.
Girl, it's on Netflix. Watch it in the comfort of your own home. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Oh, yeah.
People get everything that they got coming to them. Girl, sit back, kick back, get your popcorn, kiki, and watch it, Tracy.
Listen, so I'm gonna tell y'all right now. My temper is on another level, and so I was like, I just knew it was gonna be all people who look like me in the movie, and I was like, I know y'all lying. Yeah.
That's why I have not watched When They See Us. I still have not watched When They See Us, and I refuse to watch When They See Us. Just because of me having a young Black man that I'm raising, I see my son in a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
With him having special needs, it just reminds, like, there was that boy that got killed not too long ago who was autistic. The police,
When They See Us, I didn't say that.
I can't watch that. I cannot watch that.
I couldn't remember. I already read the story.
I don't know what I would do if somebody was to see my son as a threat like that and just mistakenly accuse him of doing something he did not do.
After all these years, and they still wouldn't watch it now.
I cannot. I'm just a Scream fanatic. I've seen all 5 movies multiple times. I basically know them right now. I love Scream. That's me and my son's favorite movies. For
y'all gonna watch the new one coming out?
Oh, baby, I done already watched it on my first stick.
No, the new one.
The new one.
That one already came out? Oh, I'm late.
Yes, it came out on Halloween. Thank you very much. But I ain't even gonna tell you, but one of the main ones died.
They finally kill off Sydney, like for real, for sure. She gone, done.
Sydney take a dirt nap. Sydney done that.
Listen, it's only 3 of the original left. It's Sydney, Dewey, and Gail.
Sydney's done, right? No.
I'm not gonna tell you because it's people that ain't.
Honestly, I think Courtney Cox should be done because her and David Arquette are divorced, so they don't really need to be in no more movies together.
Listen, either way it go, because one of them 3 is one of the original.
Look, so you know what? Here, look. No, I'm look. Hold on. Give me 30 seconds, and I'm gonna figure it out.
Again, all 3 of them, quite frankly, they should have been dead at this point. So when this person died, you're going to be like, dang, finally?
Dewey.
Finally?
Dewey.
Because, they should have already been dead a long time ago. It should have been like Sydney. Sydney should have been dead a long time ago. Gail should have been dead a long time ago. And Dewey should have been dead. Dewey had a whole ass limp. Duty got stabbed in the spine. He should have been dead a long time ago.
Oh, so he really did kick it?
I don't know. I'm not saying.
You know what? You ain't gotta say it because I will.
I got my new phone this week.
I'm anxious. What y'all drinking tonight? I got me some Jack Daniel's Southern Peach.
I got Hawaiian Punch. Oh, I do got me some drunken gummy bears in the refrigerator. I'm gonna pull those out here in a minute.
I got the mini me today.
We got the mini Pepsi. All right. Brittany, Brit Brad.
Jack Daniels give me nightmares. It's trauma. It is trauma behind JD. That is trauma.
Don't ruin it, sis. Brittany telling you don't ruin it, baby, sis.
You know what? First of all, I'm not gonna ruin it for you guys. I'm gonna ruin it for me. And like this person, my husband, he hates it when I Google movies because I gotta know what happens.
Did you hear the actor who played Bookman died? Child, I didn't want to put nothing bad in today, but since you brought it up, let's go ahead and speak on it.
I didn't know that.
Bookman, for those of us who are old school throwback, he was in Good Times.
Yeah.
He was the one that called Buffalo Butt. He died. Yeah. Let me pull some back up. Opulence. If you already cocked and ready and loaded,
I don't think vodka would be good.
Go ahead and pop something open, spark something up, do whatever you got to do. We family around here. Don't be but us just here. We are literally family, y'all. We like Sunday when the family comes together and just be drinking and smoking and talking shit and eating.
AJW, what's up?
That's exactly what it feels like. Don't ruin it.
What's up with you? I ain't seen my live earlier, Ludi. What's going on?
JW, what's going on, family? I love y'all too, man. That's what I was just saying. We like a little family. Just be sitting around, kicking it and chilling. Where the kids at? The kids is quiet back there. Somebody go check on them kids. They're back there quiet. Who watching that chicken? All right, y'all. What we got today? What we gonna get into? WNBA star Brittany Griner. She is a handsome young fella.
She's a handsome.
She is a handsome young fella. She is in custody right now in Russia. Y'all bless her. Zeke was in a cringy interview with a quote-unquote journalist that was asking him some very inappropriate questions. A teacher is in the hospital after being mocked. I mean, mocked. Don't stop by a 5-year-old. A boys to men mistress is coming and speaking out after 9 years of being the mistress. Then we're going to end with Raymond Santana filing a divorce from Big Bootylicious, aka London Charles, of what was she on? The Flavor of Love.
Season 2.
Season whatever that was. Either way, she feels better than what the heck it was she was doing. Before we get into that, y'all got anything else that y'all want to add? That's good. Y'all ready to get into these topics that we got for tonight?
Oh, no, we good.
Share my screen. All right, first things first. Let's get into this whole situation with Brittany Griner, y'all. If y'all don't know who Brittany Griner is, like I said, she's a handsome young fella. I got to say that. I'll give her that. She is being detained on drug smuggling charges, according to the New York Times, and shout out to the Shade Room. The Russian Federal Customs Services officials detained Brittany after finding vape cartridges containing hashish oil in her luggage. Now, I don't know if that's illegal. Tracy, I'm going to go to you, starting with you on that, our local resident law, somebody that know law and shit like that. Does that in any way affect her WNBA career, number one? And number two, is that even illegal for her to be smoking hashish? I mean, it's not weed.
So it's not illegal here. It is illegal in Russia. No, it doesn't affect her WNBA career at all because she's on the off season of the WNBA. So in her off season, a lot of, especially like WNBA players, they go international to play basketball because they make a ton of money playing basketball over there. So they go over to make money. So it's like the equivalent of like weed over here.
Mm-hmm.
You know how some places it's legal, some places it's not. It's kind of the luck of the draw. Right. But because, like, so the war that has now started, like, it's been building up for weeks, right? For weeks. So they've been telling them, like, hey, y'all need to get up out of there. Like, deuces, y'all need to go. So, apparently, you know, when she was getting ready to go, she had it in her bag, which, to me, that's like, you know, if I go to Canada, I know that I can't take this with me or I can't leave Canada with it. So, you know, it gotta go. But I don't know if she had been doing it before. And, you know, because she's like a celebrity over there, they didn't check her before. I don't know what happened. But now, sis, my bad, my good sis, you gonna spend a little bit of time over there.
That's illegal over there, or it's illegal to take it out of the country?
It's illegal to take it out of the country.
I see. Okay. And that could affect her WNBA career.
Well, no, it's not going to affect her. Well, I mean, in being in jail, will.
Yeah, of course.
Because she's facing like 10 years in jail.
Damn, for hashish? God damn.
She faced like 10 years in jail. But that's no different than if I take something to Canada, right? Or I take something back from Canada, and you would think that it's not that big of a deal, but you're international. You're taking something international that you can't take. So it's like a big deal because, you know, you're trying to take something out of a country. But at the same time, because we kind of out. You know, because we not at war with Russia, but you know, we telling Russia, nah, screw you. We're gonna cut off all your money supplies outside of crypto, which is why they about to start regulating crypto. So y'all about to be in for a real good surprise there. But because they're now like, cracking down on all these things, they're like, the US has like literally no leverage to get her back because we're kind of cutting you off every which way. We have no leverage to get her back. What are you bargaining with when you're cutting them off at the same time? Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
I don't think this is for the fact that she's a U.S. citizen, period.
No, girl. Do you see what color her skin is? Girl, they ain't about to negotiate for her.
That's crazy, though.
Girl, when do they ever negotiate for us?
What they gonna do with her?
Is she gonna be in there like Tracy said?
She going to jail. She going to Russian prison. Unless they decide to, be nice and drop the charges or, lower them or something like that. But let's think. If we at war and we beefing, do I really feel like dropping your charges and being nice to you? Probably not.
Crazy to me. Mizzle, do you think she deserves that, or should she be allowed? I mean, it's hashish, man.
I don't know what that is.
It ain't weed.
That's weed.
It's like baby weed.
That's what I'm saying. It ain't weed, though. It might just have you feeling a little bit like, but come on, man. Oh, this is my question too. She had it in her. Would it have been better if she had it in a carry-on, or like? I'm trying to understand.
No, that's like saying, you know what? My gun is legal in Texas, but I'm gonna fly, to China with my gun and be like, it's cool. Absolutely not. You can't. That's not how that works. You can't just like, oh, it was on my carry-on, so it's different. No, girl. The answer is no. It's an elite.
Yes.
Lord.
Did you hear the saying that if you go do a crime, do not do it in the foreign country?
Yeah.
Do it. Because normally they are harsher, it's harsher sentencing in the foreign country than your own. Like, especially like if you go to the US and you go to Russia, like any place, they have harsher sentences for other people who are outside the country. So that's why you don't try to pack nothing that bring over. Just clothes and that's it. Or then you better bring clothes, you just want to buy stuff there. So it's like you don't want to get caught doing anything illegal in another country because they're gonna harm that on you, especially when they see you a foreigner. They ain't gonna take it lightly on you. And you might not even know all the rules. So that's what it's like. Drugs and anything. I said, nah, just don't even try to do with that. Now I don't know. Maybe she thought she probably could have a good leeway because she was an athlete. But like Tracy said, they in war right now. They don't got time for all that. So you do something. I was like, I didn't want to go to. Listen, I wouldn't even want to go near the R.
Hell no.
The R right now. I ain't going to near R right now. So I'd rather just stay in my mind over here and let it go. So anybody who's trying to think about going over to Ukraine and the R right now, I ain't trying none of that. So
what's going on, Miss 42?
It's not gonna be that bad. Hopefully, I don't know. But they're gonna do something. She gonna do some time. I don't know. Russia ain't playing right now. How they playing right now? They say ain't playing. So
right. Hey, you guys.
Hey, boo. I've been missing you up here, girl.
Oh, I miss y'all too.
Hey, Miss 22, how you doing?
I'm good. My twerk. Wait, hold on. Mizzle, come on, let's twerk. Yeah, I ain't got my camera on, but I'm twerking. Taking it, show it.
I'm listening to her back. I'm teaching from the play. I hear that.
Okay, she said she threw away some peach rings. She wasn't playing no goddamn games. Okay.
Right.
Hello, Dr. M. Welcome.
Hey, Dr. M.
You know I had to click the link, sis, because
yes, I wanted to, because you know you're a parent. You have a lot of legal info. Do you know how much, like, No, Tracy, she could get up to 10 years for this. Would they really prosecute her for some vape cartridges, or is she looking to just get like a heavy fine?
Well, unfortunately, I don't know the laws over there, and I know Tracy can agree with this, that because of what's going on right now, we don't know. Like it can go any kind of way. I mean, it go any kind of way here. You know what I mean?
Right.
In the United States. So over there dealing with what's going on right now, they know she from the US. It can go any kind of way that they want it to go. And that's the unfortunate part about it. So we really do just have to watch and see what happens. It's very unfortunate, which is the real reason, or the second reason I clicked the link, because are you serious? Like,
Cartridges.
So first of all, you know that I smoked cigarettes for a long time. I can't tell you how long, but it's been about 7-8 years that I've been cigarette free.
Mm-hmm.
And I started smoking. I have a vape machine. Basically, it's a little cartridge. Look like you've seen it. So you know. Right. So that's what I use. And I don't smoke cigarettes because of it. I haven't had a cigarette, like I said, almost 8 years. It's a good thing for me. My husband ended up going over to, he had to go to Paris and North Korea the year before last. And we both did the whole vaping thing. We quit cigarettes and did vaping, and he had to fly to 2 different countries for his job, and the poor man had vape, right? So first of all, his broke the glass. He did have a second glass, but the glass on the machine broke while he was in the air. The pressure, whatever, it broke. So he got to his destination, and he was sick because he only had the one glass left. Fortunately, we sent him with it, because I mean, we're not smoking cigarettes, but that don't mean that we don't have this fixation. It is what it is.
Exactly.
Is as educated as I am, as gainfully as employed as I am, it's a fixation, and it is what it is. Okay, like chocolate. I'm gonna need my chocolate too. So his glass broke. He was in another country. Apparently, they did not approve of vaping over there. So of course they didn't have the supplies for him to get what he needed to fix it. But it was still an issue where he was at. I mean, they didn't agree with that. And then you add marijuana to it. Yeah. But my husband didn't go over there with that, although we do, and it's legal. He didn't go over there with that, but you add that to the situation, and of course that's not what they want over there. My concern for her is simply the fact that she's over there, they're having issues, they nitpicking, and it could be a bigger issue than what it really is on paper. This ain't nothing. Over here in the United States, that wouldn't even be a conversation.
At all. It wouldn't even be news headlines. She wouldn't even have gotten arrested.
No.
If she got arrested, it wouldn't be this big. Right. I see what you're saying. It's important to know the basic do's and don'ts at the airports when traveling to another country. For example, when coming to the UK, you can't come in with a certain amount of goods. That's true. I've never traveled.
Girl, international travel is stupid. You got to get rid of fruits. They have a whole long list, depending on where you're going, of things you can or can't take, and it's your responsibility to know what it is you can or can't take. And some of them are nice enough, like, you just got to get rid of it, and we'll let you go. And some of them are jerks. And I think this is one of the times where they just being a jerk.
Yeah.
Especially because they knew that they were going to war long before we knew they were going to, right? So they knew what they were starting to plan. So it's like, at some point, I tell people, yeah, being in the U.S. and you think like, oh, okay, in the U.S. we could, yeah, but that don't work nowhere else. That only works here. So you have to follow whatever the rules, the laws is of where you're at and where you're going. And it may seem stupid, but it's like, listen, I'm gonna tell you some of the. I've done some
But you
things.
know what, Tracy? It's crazy that they're in a war. Which is they're attempting to peg as World War III, right? They're in a war and they're worried about her vape. That's what's crazy. And I get it. You know, she in another country. Yes, they going through something, so they being extra picky. I get it. But you're still in the middle of a war. So why are you worried about her vape pen?
You know why I think they're worried about her vape pen? Because I think that they thought it was going to be a different outcome than what they got. Because I think they thought we have this big U.S. celebrity over here locked up. The U.S. will negotiate with us.
Oh no! You think that they gonna use her?
I really think that is what Russia thought. Because think about it, when they got the notice to tell them, hey, y'all need to get out of here because it's looking like they're going to war. Like, this has been weeks. Like, they knew weeks before the war started. They said, this look funny. Y'all need to get out of there. And start telling U.S. people, like, y'all need to get out of there. It looks funny. So they found something to stop her for. And I think they thought, she is this big U.S. celebrity. The U.S. will like not impose as many sanctions, or they will, do these things, or they'll give us some leeway to get their celebrity back. But what they didn't think was, honey, the celebrity you got looked like me. So in all actuality, the U.S. don't really care that much about a celebrity that looked like me. Now,
especially over no damn vape pen.
Exactly.
But that's messed up if that's what's going on, because I would hate for her to get stuck over there because they want to use her. That's scary. That's scary.
Several times. Wow.
And plus I don't trust, I've never, first of all, I'm still trying to figure out how is Putin still alive. I thought he was 999,000
I did too, child.
First of all,
he was long gone.
Listen, he was back when I was in college, and we talking about over 20 years ago. Yes. When I was in college, he was in my history book. Okay?
I remember that. Yes, Vladimir Putin. I remember that.
In a damn history book. How is he still walking around here acting a damn fool? That's first of all. But I don't know. It just feels like I don't know. I feel real bad for her. And I hope that it's mostly because it's something so insignificant to me. The reason I clicked the link is because you can take seeds from marijuana and throw it in your backyard and it'll grow, whether you do something to it or not. So I got a thing for that, in a sense that people villainizing marijuana. I have a huge issue with it because it'll grow, by God. Rather we touch it or not, it's gonna grow out there in the backyard if you throw it out there. Okay. Exactly. So to hear somebody be arrested for it, whether it's here in the United States or somewhere else, it bothers me. Because it's so many things in this world that you can arrest somebody for that's dangerous. Marijuana is not your problem. It ain't never been nobody's problem. Ever. No. Ever. When you see people doing crimes, I bet you money marijuana ain't behind it. Ain't never been at all. Unless they stealing chips out the corner bodega. It ain't never been a problem for criminals. So it just bothers me when they do that to people.
I agree. I completely agree. I think that's ridiculous. Baby sis, did you have anything that you wanted to add to it?
Bennett not in it. And I already told you, hold up. Let my thing stop working. There it goes. Remember the other day, Sissy, when me and you were texting the other one?
Uh-huh.
Putin is invading Ukraine because he's upset that his dick stopped working.
Yeah.
So, pop some Viagra, Cialis, I don't care. Get you a couple of hoes that'll work on your dick. Throw a pinky up your butthole, and you'll be okay.
Oh, she touched it a whole new level.
Not a pinky.
That part. So I just feel bad for her. I hope that they are not using her as leverage to in any way to get something from the U.S. because, like Tracy said, she looked like us. They ain't gonna get a whole lot. They probably get a couple pizzas and a couple lace fronts or something. They're not gonna get nothing off of Brittany, unfortunately, if that's what they really are trying to do.
Yeah, trying to. Oh no.
Yeah, but what are they gonna do with her once if they're holding her because they think they're gonna get some response? What are they gonna do once they realize they're not?
I don't even want.
I just want them to let her go and send her home. That's it. That's it.
I mean,
let her go.
I would say a part of me wants to be like, oh, they'll just ban her from ever coming back to Russia. But because she makes them so much money going over there playing for their women's basketball team,
right?
She's like the LeBron James of women's basketball over there. Like that's how big she is over there in their basketball world. So she's huge over there to them. So because she makes them so much money, I don't know if he would just be like, you could never come back here, which I would think would be just the easiest thing to do. Like, okay, cool. Pay this fine. You can't come back. No harm, no foul. Yeah, she loses out on money, but they lose out on money. So I don't know if they will be willing to do that, but that would make the most sense to me. I mean, not to be funny, it's not like customs don't go through people's bags all the time. Any doggone way. They could have just tossed it out.
Right.
It wasn't that big of a deal, but in this climate, apparently everything is a big deal.
Everything is a big deal. Yeah.
Wouldn't her sexuality automatically put her in jail too? I thought Russia was illegal
if they
to
know
be gay.
About it. Yes, if they know about it. Unless they was in the room with her.
Yeah, but surely she's not in the closet.
But that's also different. You have to think. They don't get the same television and stuff like that we get over here. Their internet isn't as free and open as it gets over there. And her wife is still here.
That's what I'm saying.
She doesn't go over there with her.
She's married.
Yeah, so she doesn't go over there with her, right?
Because it's illegal.
Yes. So when you go over there, it's not like they have access to U.S. television where they can see it. They don't have open access to the internet like that where they can go Google it up and look at her. They don't have. It isn't like that over there. Like a bunch of the stuff that we just think is normal, like you could just go there and look at whatever you want. They can't do that. That's not how it works over there.
They had some freedoms, not many. Tracy is absolutely right. They had a few little freedoms, but all of that was shut down when the war started. Literally, the only thing that they have up and running is RTTV, which is Russian television.
Damn.
And what it is Vladimir's stuff, being funneled to the people. Period. That's all that comes through RTTV.
Girl, yeah.
They shut everything else down. They don't have access to anything. They literally shut all their stuff down when the war started. The only thing they have access to is RTTV.
That's so sad.
But even if you think about it, even before then, their internet restriction was like restricted. So you could only get certain things on their internet. You could only get certain things on their cable. And they did it to keep their people in the dark, to keep them from really making such a fuss about things. But that's a lot of other countries are. North Korea is definitely like that. They like a straight blackout zone. South Korea is very limited. Japan, China, a lot of those countries, their internet don't look like ours. Like even like I have a Korean Facebook page, and I have a I have one when I was in in China, and I have a US Facebook, and all three of them are different. As you get what you see, it doesn't commingle with each other.
Right.
All of it is just straight separate. So I think we're thinking like, ooh, we could do that. And you can't do that stuff over there. Like, so I don't think they realize that she's, a part of the LGBTQIA community. And she's smart enough to know I'm not about to go tell them that either. She ain't about to tell them.
Right. Right.
Not a place where you can get jailed for life.
If I'm not mistaken, Russia specifically has their own Facebook. It's called something different, but it is a form of Facebook.
Russian face. Well, I believe that. I'm not surprised by that. Not that any countries would have their own face. I'm not surprised by that. That's just sad, y'all. I feel so bad for her. Caught up in the middle of some BS that ain't even got nothing to do with us.
Child over a vape pen, and then on top of that, she probably wherever she at without her damn vape pen.
And this even more bad on top
cruel. Of that. Yes, cruel and unusual punishment.
I'd try to fight somebody. I'd have to fight somebody, or I'd have to find out who bringing in the goods around the jailhouse now. I got to talk to them, see what I got to do to get me a cigarette around here.
What's crazy is it's just Mary J. It's not even most people from what I know, 99.9% of the people that smoke it don't get addicted. They can say, you know what, today I'm good. I don't feel like it. Today I don't want to do that. Somebody crazy. So really over that's
honestly evil. You know what? If it were meth, if it were heroin,
crack, all that,
I would understand that. But over hashish, that's baby marijuana, that's bad. And like you said, they just looking for a reason. They just looking for a reason, and that don't make.
It wasn't even right, sis. It wasn't even whole weed. Like
I understand if she had that good, that fire.
Yeah,
that ooh wee.
Wow.
Sipping mud or something. She ain't even had that time.
I guess we need to get the rest of the world up to speed because not everyone agrees with the way. Like even the Olympics, it still needs to be up in times. They still ban that. So it's like,
you know what? I got a problem with the Olympics. They had a whole ass problem with Sha'Carri Richardson smoking her weed, but then you got the little white girl that had whole cocaine. Was it cocaine or crack?
No. They gave her a pass because she was a minor, and of course, she was mayonnaise colored. But they called out the whole double standard. But they were still
they just suspend the minor just like the special card. I think the only thing is that minor, whoever lawyer said she had with, fought their decision, and I guess whoever the judge decided they know it was a minor.
She's Russian.
Yes, so
she was Russian.
Yes,
she was Russian. So the difference between her case and Sha'Carri's case was the U.S. said, okay, we're going to give her a 30-day sanction. We're going to 30. Russia said, oh, no, we not. We fighting for her. She's a minor. This happened. She didn't know. This was a part of the medication. How was she? Like, Russia did everything they possibly could to keep her. In the U.S., they just said, oh, now we're going to give her a 30-day sanction. Yes, she can't run in her race, but she could run in this, like team, the 4x4. She could run in that, but that's it. Like the U.S. So in that one, it was more of the U.S. said, nah, these are the rules. You broke them.
Yeah.
This is what we're restricting you to. Because what they were going to do for her is even if she won, they weren't going to give her a medal. That's what Russia said. Russia said, okay, fine. Even if she comes in first place, even if she wins, she can't get the medal. That's our punishment to her. She can't get the medal. So what was going to happen was, you know, although she was first place, she would get a little asterisk by her name, and whoever was second would actually get first, and so on and so forth. Is what Russia said that they would do for her.
I'd have thought that hoe on the podium.
Yeah, that's why I went back and broke out with Chicago and everything. I didn't quit to go with the race card because as you read it, they did punish the minor, just like they punished Chicago. I guess what Tracy said, the countries differ, and she fought, and that's what happened. That she was able to get the deal overturned because they didn't fight for her. She was about to suspended, just like Chicago. So.
But the thing about it is, she still got to perform, though. She still got to. That's just
that's I don't know. So they got to work on that.
But that's the thing. Sha'Carri would have been able to perform if she chose to do the 4x4. She just missed her race. So she missed her individual race. The way her suspension worked was her suspension overlapped with her individual race. But track and field is like all throughout the Olympics, meaning if she would have chose to still run, she could have ran in the women's 4x4, which was like at the end of the Olympics because her suspension would have been over. But she chose not to run. So yeah, it was true. Like she missed, it was like you got half of it. You missed one part, but you could still do this other piece if you want to. And Sha'Carri just chose not to do it at all, which is her right. But the same, I guess, Russia chose to say you could race, but you're not going to get a medal if you win. The U.S. said you're going to be on a 30-day, suspension, but you could still catch this second race. And if they would have came in first place, she would have still placed. She would have still got her medal. She would have still got all the things that, she would have earned in running. So some of it, I also feel like, is a little bit of on Sha'Carri herself, because it's like, if running was that important to you, you should have at least showed up to the second race that you had, where you could have did it. I mean, you just said, "Oh no!"
When she did race, she got her ass dusted. I said,
loser, right?
Baby, they scrubbed the ground with Sha'Carri. I said, "Girl, where was you at?"
For something that you can turn away from for the moment, absolutely. All she had to do was put it down and say, "You know what? I come when I finish."
Yeah,
when I finish, then I'm gonna come back to it. She could have waited, and that is something that bothers me about people when it comes to that. There's times when I think that it's something that you can put down when you're ready and walk away from it, come back to later. And so when I hear people not putting it down in times that they need to be putting it down, that bothers me, even though I feel like it's a harmless thing and it'll grow in your backyard if you just toss the seeds out there and don't do nothing to them yourself. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. I completely agree. Now I was going to ask y'all if y'all saw over this, I want to say it was either last week or maybe 2 weeks. There was a horse in a horse race that was disqualified because he had received some help, medicinal help. I'm not sure what it was called. So I'm not going to listen. When I saw it, I hollered because you remember how you got athletes that was getting disqualified because they was taking steroids and blah, 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 blah. When I saw, at first, I was watching the news and I'm like, oh, the girl riding a horse got disqualified because maybe she was taking something, not listening a little harder. And it wasn't her. They was feeding the drugs to the damn horse.
To the horse.
And yes, the horse had extra stuff in him so he could perform better than the rest of the horses. And he was disqualified for a horse. Yeah.
That Polo low horse. That's all right. I bet he felt good after that race. He probably slept right
Listen, he probably slept
He slept right
amazing.
to hell.
Mhm.
Y'all, the next thing I wanted to get into tonight, I'm gonna play the audio of the video, but I'm gonna put the picture up of the person we're talking about. Daniel Bellamy is Zeke Cross from Power Book 2. Now, he was recently on an interview with Queen's Flip. Do y'all know who Queen's Flip is? I can't stand his ass. I can't stand his ass. There's a picture of Zeke. I can't stand Queen's Flip. He's one of these podcasters that he's just an asshole. He asks a lot of inappropriate questions. He's just not a good interviewer. The things that he says is just he's an asshole. He started off as a comedian doing these dumbass skits. Anyways, he did an interview with, I still call him Zeke Cross, y'all. He did an interview with Zeke where he was trying to, I feel like, bait him into talking about his sexuality. The interview was very cringy. It was very uncomfortable. I'm going to play this for y'all to listen to. And then after I'm done playing it, we're going to get into a little bit of commentary and y'all let me know y'all's thoughts on how this interview went.
Girls what? What's up with them? You got any girlfriends? I'm a single individual right now. You know what? I'm a single individual right now. Did you have any girls in school? I'm kind of don't speak about who. Wait, hold on. So let me guess. You don't identify with a sex diva, right? Did I say that? I'm asking you. You don't want to say you keep it real. Let's talk about it. Did I say that though? You did not, but I'm asking you. You know, there's so many different titles, especially today. And where I find myself is desiring someone who wants me and is willing to accept me for who I am. It's a daily challenge, you know. But they live too much, and I don't want to put a label on you. You know what I'm saying? But you just said anybody who like you. So that means if a man like you, you may go that direction. If a man like you and you feeling it, I think that if any situation, especially today, it's gonna be a very challenging process. Bro, but are you ashamed to say that you like men if you do? Like because if you do, no disrespect to you, but if you do, like, aren't you supposed to like not be ashamed of it and be proud of who you are, or in this industry it's more acceptable? I'm very proud of who I am. Bro, stop. Were you born with it, bro? Like, come on. I need the answer. What I'm saying. I'm telling you the answer. I'm trying. Were you born gay, bro? Come on, stop. I said, see, I didn't want to yell. See. I didn't want to do that because you forced me. Okay. So you forced me instead of you playing Ring Around the Rosy, and I'm trying to answer your way. I'm trying to answer. But you try to do it politically. These conversations are necessary. I'm answer your question. See? I'm trying. Oh. Yeah. Have you ever been with a woman in your life? I'm not going to talk about my sex life. Okay. Yeah. So that's when you cross the line. Yeah. Respect. All right. Gotcha.
So that was an interview, a part of the interview that he did with Queen's Flip. Shout out to On Site. This is where I'm getting this info from. Let's see. Let's start with our gentleman's perspective on. You touched on this a little bit earlier on your live as well. First of all, don't nobody know who the hell Queen's Flips is. Like I said, he's an asshole. And a lot of people, like Mizzle said, do not deserve a microphone. They don't deserve a whole podcast because they don't know how to interview people. And then the questions that he asked, I was uncomfortable. And the interview had nothing to even do with me. And I was uncomfortable watching it. Mizzle, what are your thoughts on the whole interview? And Daniel was clearly uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Clearly, he did not want to answer his questions, but he just kept digging and making the situation uncomfortable. So I'm gonna give you the floor so you can give your thoughts on that whole situation.
Okay, so when I was scrolling through Twitter and everything, I came across this, and everybody was talking about it. So when I finally heard it, and then listened to the video and everything, I was like, what was this? Why he was so persistent in knowing that part of his life? And I don't know if they talk about anything else, but based on that 2-minute clip, why you feel like that was your focus point, and why him? Now, at the first question, when he said he was single, that's it. And then the second question, he said, I don't like talking about who I'm dealing with and anything. You should end it there. But you kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and you could tell he was uncomfortable. When people do podcasts and interviews, you gotta have a level of skill and have a handle and how people get opened up. Now, if he was opened up and he was very comfortable and was willing to talk about things, then he probably would do more of conversation. But he clearly was closed off about what was asked of him, and especially about his sexuality. Now, I don't want people thinking that, because how he answered, it gave us a little question about. No, I didn't get no sense of question of what his sexuality is, because he kept his answers general. I want somebody who loves me for who I am. I want someone to be who I want to be, who accept me who I am. That's most what all of us will say. We will not give a gender. And if you want to, you're fine. But I didn't get that based on his nervousness. I think his nervousness, his uncomfortability was because the interview kept bashing him, and he didn't know how to maneuver it or do it well. So I wish that someone on his team or whatever, or he could get someone to help him in the future when you get a difficult. He might come across another douchebag of an interviewer or someone who want to throw a curveball in the interview. That's why some celebrities, and I know a lot of us hear this, a lot of celebrities don't want to do interviews unless they know what question they're going to be asked or what's going to be an agenda. Because you're not throwing curveball, or their manager will tell them they're not talking about this. They will not talk about this. They will not do this. They only want to answer questions about the book. They will only question about the thing. Why he didn't ask about how his process, how he became Zeke, or what his process of acting. What was his thing? How you became B? Like, do you only want to be an actor? Like, why that was that? And you very persistent, and you get mad. How you get mad at someone who don't want to answer your question? You get mad. Like, you really got upset. So what is it? Do you want him or something like that? Do you want to confirm, or you want to push a story out there to be the first one to break a story? Because that's what the bloggers doing now. I don't know, he's a blogger, he's a podcast. Who want to break the story? Oh, I'm the first one. Zeke came in my thing. He came out, and I say that was the first thing. And I don't know why people in these days is so focused and now on the sexuality of everybody. Nothing else. Forget your art. Forget your music. Forget everything else. Who you sleeping with? Who you dating? Who is this? And that's crazy. It's uncomfortable to even watch that. And whether Zeke like who he likes, I'm hoping that in the future he gets somebody to help him know that, because he could have walked out, or he could have just got a wrong person who wanted to just for him or punch the Queen's foot in the face.
Exactly.
So
that's what I said.
And try to be there and try to answer as best as he can, but he got tripped up. And hopefully next time he can learn how to maneuver the question to go to why he wanted to answer and talk about, or learn how to say, I'm not answering that next question. So like that. So it was cringy. I didn't get anything, and I'm not questioning anything about Daniel's sexuality, because based on his answers, I don't get anything about he was playing in both fields or playing in one field or not. He just kept the answers general, but he was very uncomfortable. And I like that.
Miss 42, what's your thought? Did you see that interview, or just this snippet part right here?
Just the snippet, and that was enough for me. It's none of his business.
Yep.
What side he on? If he on both sides, one side or the other, is none of his business. I wish, and because I'm messy. I wish he would have cussed him out like Webby did. That guy that tried to interview him about them seizures some years ago. Webby was being very patient, and the guy asked about those seizures several times, and finally Webby went off like the uncommercial underground rapper that he is. He went out to lunch on that dude, and that's what he needed. Why are you worried about what this man is doing in the bedroom. Why is it business?
Like he was poking and poking and poking, and it's like, why is it so important to you? Are you trying to send him little subliminals? Like, what's up with that?
Well, but there's a way to handle that. So here's my thing. So I agree with Mizzle. When you an interviewer, you're supposed to be able to read a room and read the person that you're interviewing.
Yes.
And so if you come on now, if we could feel the him being uncomfortable with that line of questioning, I'm sure the guy that was interviewing saw it too. But he continued to push and push. You're supposed to be able to see that stuff and back off if you want to be a real interviewer or whatever they call them, those type of people. If you want to be that, you're supposed to be able to read that and give people grace and mercy. You see he feeling uncomfortable with the line of questioning. Why are you going to keep pushing? Unless you are an asshole. That's what assholes do. So and I guess if you look at it that way, I'm not surprised. But yeah, he should have cussed them out after a certain amount of times of you asking me a question, and I feel like I didn't gave you enough reason to either discern that I don't feel good with this line of questioning and that you should move on. Then if I cuss you out, you can't say nothing about it.
Exactly. He should have left that shit alone.
Yeah, because it's not none of his business.
Baby sis?
I don't know who this podcaster is, but he just reminds me of a lot of these alpha males.
Yep.
With their podcasts right now. And at this point, I think we're in a whole nother epidemic, and that epidemic is cis white men or cis men, period.
Yes.
And I wish somebody would do that to somebody I know and I'm in the room with them, because I'm knocking somebody out. Like, clearly no means no, and he's giving you an answer. If you don't like the answer to the question, then don't ask the question. Like, he had a better composure than me, because I would have just straight windmill on people.
He held himself well, even though he was uncomfortable.
Very well. Like,
he did.
I'd straight like
Opulence
piece of a biscuit.
Opulence says, I have a question. Are you queer if you are attracted to a gay person?
No.
Good question. No. Are you?
I don't think so, because I am attracted to a lot of people, but I know there's a line that I will not cross.
Exactly.
In that attraction. So
attraction is only about your feelings in your eye. It's like you can see something attractive and you say, okay, but you won't act on it. So
like I can't help it if my eyes
and everything, and I might say, oh, he look good, or she look good and everything. Doesn't mean I will cross the line and do something with that. So
okay, so wait. The attraction is one thing and the act is something different, is what you're saying? Okay, but so wait. Okay, so because I got a whole nother question.
Okay.
I do.
What if I guess attracted would cover my question, but so if I'm looking at somebody and I'm like, ooh, child, but I don't do nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still like, ooh, whoo.
That don't make I don't feel like that would necessarily make you. This is my thing, and this is going to sound so cliche, but it is so true. I am sick and tired of labels, period.
Amen.
I'm sick of heterosexual.
Amen.
I'm sick of bisexual. I'm sick of gay.
Amen.
I'm sick of transgender. I'm sick of queer. I am sick and tired of all of it. We are people, period. Period. It don't matter who the hell you love.
It does not matter where your love comes from or who you love. Amen, sis. Yes.
And I feel like I'm gonna get emotional saying this, but it really just over the years that just bothers me. So much so, it just bothers me. I have people in my family that are literally all parts of the rainbow, who are gay, who are straight, who are trans, who are cisgender, who are heterosexual, queer, all of that. And it should not, excuse me, it should not fucking matter. They're just people at the end of the day, and it bothers me. It bothers me so much that you can be out somewhere, you can see two men who clearly are holding hands, loving each other, and look across the way and see somebody staring at them. Do you know how many times I wanted to go up to somebody and ask them, "What you looking at?"
Yeah. Meanwhile, sis, it's a heterosexual couple walking, 10 of them, then walk past that same person that's staring at the gay couple.
Just
You
like
know, and that's what society has done to us. They have forced us to believe that certain relationships must be the way that
I
the
hate that.
world has taught us for it to be. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah, that's what they did
I
to
hate that. And then honestly, men who are so toxic to where, I don't like them gay motherfuckers. I don't like you. I don't like you. I will not talk with you. I don't want to have a friendship with you. I don't want to date you. If that's what you think, I don't want to be around you. I don't
yeah.
be around you. If that's what you really think about somebody who ain't thinking two damns about you, ain't trying to sit on your face, ain't trying to wake up with you, ain't trying to do nothing with you, but you got a problem with what their sexuality is, then I have a problem with you. And I
It's
don't
so
want to be
many
around
other It's
you.
so many other things in the world that we could worry about. That's not one of them, especially most
You.
of the times, whatever we doing in the bedroom is just us in the bedroom. Why is you even worried about it? You know, like it doesn't affect your life. It doesn't change anything. It don't bring the price of gas down or the price of
Thank
the freaking
you.
milk.
Oh my
You know
God.
what I mean? So why are you really worried about something you can't even see? Because it's not like these people are out in the open publicly displaying their sexual activity, affection to each other maybe, but their sexual activity, they not doing that in front of you. Why aren't you worried about it?
I'm sick of it. Tracy, did you have any thoughts? I'm sorry, I went off for a minute. I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, I have a whole different opinion on the interview. Completely different. Completely different. Because I watched the whole thing.
Go ahead.
So I didn't just watch the clip. So they did ask him about all different facets. Going to college, how you got into act. They did go all through the gamut of things. But I will tell you that if I ask you a question and then you start stuttering, I'm going to hone in on that question, because that's also what I did to Sir Neale. That's how I figured out that he had a whole phase when he was 23 to 24. That's how I figured that out. Because he had a thing and then he started stumbling and I was like, oh, wait, what's that? Oh, there's something there. What happened? But that's because I'm nosy, right? So that has nothing to do with anything else outside of me being completely nosy. So can I see us having a conversation, and then in the conversation I ask you a question which to most people would be like a softball easy question, right? And then you start stuttering over the question. By my curious nature, I'm going to follow up to that question. Only
But
because
Tracy,
Tracy, what? Because that's how I found out Sir Neale used to be a hoe.
You know, I'm gonna ask you, sis. I
Go
don't
ahead.
think that you would continue.
Yeah, when somebody
If someone is, you guys are on a
would.
public platform in front of
Yeah,
a camera. Would you really? I don't think so.
Yes, I would. Let me tell you why.
I think
Because my job is to ask the questions. That's my job. That's what I'm here for, right? My job on the
yeah.
podcast is to ask you the questions. Your job as a person being interviewed is to be able to deliver your answers well. It's not my job to make sure that you deliver your answers eloquently the way you want to hear them. Because if that was the case, then how many times will Gayle King walk away from an interview not getting all the information? How many times will Oprah walk away? Diane Sawyer was a messy heifer. messy. She was messy. Asked all the questions, then would go on 5-6 questions after, then revert back to the question you said you didn't want to answer and ask it in a different way. So we're not gonna act like people ain't messy to get the information they want to know. But what I will say is, if I ask you some very hard, in-depth questions about, like, how did you feel about, acting and and being, into men at the time, like, how did you feel about this? How do you feel about acting and being into women? Or how did you feel about being casted with this? Or any of these questions that were more hard-hitting questions. And then I asked you what your dating life was like, and you stumble? Wait, what? What? Huh? What you stumbling over that question for?
Something though. Some of them make me nervous, or something like that.
But wait,
it doesn't mean they are nervous. That doesn't mean they doesn't mean they hide something.
Here's the perfect question.
Double something doesn't mean that it makes it.
But that tells somebody some more to it, because normally if I ask you a question, you answer it, right? So if I say, oh, this, you would answer it. But we're not acting like he said, oh, I'm not comfortable talking about. He didn't say he wasn't comfortable talking about it until further on in the questioning of that question. Because he said, a simple answer,
individual. That's what he answered.
Well,
his
yes,
he said,
yes,
I'm a single individual.
Yes. Now, so I need us to stop being on the side of, oh my gosh, he said I'm a single individual. When was the last time any of us heard someone refer to themselves in their dating life as a single individual? Because he didn't ask him, was he dating someone? He said, what is your relationship like with the ladies, with girls? So the question that they asked and the answer that they got from it are two totally very different answers.
I don't see how
again,
he got that from his answer, though. I don't get that.
What do you mean? How do you not get how he got that from that answer?
I don't see how he got "you must be gay" from answering "I'm a single individual."
Well, here's how he got it, because when he asked his question, he didn't just say, "Oh, I'm single." He said, I'm a single individual. That's where it came from. Because I'm going to tell you, when I hear someone say, to a question that is relatively a soft, easy question, that isn't like, we're acting like he asked him a question that was, very hard hitting or in depth or anything crazy. He didn't ask him a crazy question.
What I'm saying is, how could he have not gotten, well, maybe he's with somebody and he doesn't want to say I'm single.
Because that's what people say. Because that is the same way that
celebrity or something, and he doesn't want to say that. I don't see
the same way how
go to gay from I'm a single.
He didn't automatically go to gay. That's not what he automatically went to. He didn't automatically go to gay. What he went to, no, he didn't. What he said was, oh, he gaslighted. Okay, he went to that is not what that man said. Listen, that is not. I listened to the same thing y'all did. That is not what he said.
That's what he said. But I guess my thing is, if you're asking someone questions, and listen, I've been accused of being a softie, okay? A million times in my years, been accused of being a softie. So if I'm asking you a question, I can feel you being a little tense. Even a stuttering is a clear indication that you may be struggling with the question. I'm gonna back off. Right? Not now. I'm going to say this because I am messy and nosy too. So once the camera turns off, I might slip some questions in there and ask you some stuff. But when I see that that this camera is rolling, we are live, and you're stuttering, I realize that you do not feel comfortable with my line of questioning. So I'm going to back up a little bit. As nosy as I am.
Okay. So let me ask you this question, right? So when Gayle King interviewed Robert, right, and she started asking him the hard questions and he started getting uncomfortable, did we all say, oh no, don't ask him those questions, you can see he's now visibly getting uncomfortable? Or did we say, keep going, ask the questions? Like, it can't always be.
That's
different.
It's not different.
It's different.
No.
Wait,
hold on.
Hold on.
How is it different? Wait,
let me say this real quick, Tracy. Let me say this because it's a huge difference, sweetie.
How?
That man was being accused of being a pedophile.
Yes.
Okay. This man, the line of questioning that's being given to him is being assumed that he may be gay. That's totally different. We're talking about a man abusing children.
Yes.
You better ask him.
So wait. So let's look at the context of the situation. One person is being accused of mishandling children. We're gonna say that because it's like mishandling children. The other person is being questioned about. The other person is being questioned about their sexual preferences or their dating preference or their relationship preferences or whatever those may be. Of the two topics, which one is more sensitive? We're going to go with them. Oh, okay.
The
so
illegal
then
one.
Wait. Hold on. Wait, let me finish. So how do you then say the person being asked about the illegal one where they're harming children, they should be able to go through and ask 5, 6, 7, 8 repetitive questions after that to get to the information. But this person is being asked a question and then they should be told, oh, no, stop asking questions. No, it shouldn't. It should be equal and even across the playing field. If I'm interviewing you and I'm asking you questions and you sat down with me to answer questions, then it's not my job to make sure that you have media training to be comfortable answering your questions. That is that person's job to be ready to answer questions. Because let's be honest, asking someone if they're dating or who they're dating is not a hard question. That is not a, oh my gosh, that was too intrusive question. That literally is a basic question. So we can't then say
it's intrusive, but other people might feel like it's like I don't like talk like some things like when you're asking me questions, I don't like talk about some things because I like to keep things private myself. So when don't go further.
But then don't you say that I like to keep things private, which is something he could have said, which he never said.
He could have said something like that, but at the same time, he giving off answers that it's like, listen, I'm not comfortable going more or more.
Yeah.
So at the same time, yes, it's not your responsibility to make sure he could be able to answer questions like that, but it's also is another responsibility as an interviewer to make sure your people is being comfortable to answer. Now, whether you talk about the R. Kelly thing, the Gayle King and stuff like that, he blew up. I ain't watched the interview because I ain't really care for that much. He blew up and everything, and we also have seen that he blew up based on after a line of question that kept going. So he felt like he got too much question pressure. He blew up. It's too much. So the same reaction in different ways could be the same kind of results at the same time. But at the same time, though, you have to understand who you're interviewing and how comfortable and not they could answer this question. The interviewer, we keep bashing because he want to get something out of him.
Yeah.
It was not something that he was comfortable saying. So whether you interview or not, I don't feel like that was the same thing. I think it was two different things. And I think in this situation, yes, you can answer your questions, but also you have to understand that people interviewing got to be able to be comfortable to answer the questions.
Well, it's about being respectful. Yes. You know what I mean? If you're a legitimate interviewer, you still want to be respectful of the person that's interviewing.
Did y'all see where he went to interview at? Also,
I mean, but listen,
did y'all see where he went to interview at?
But listen, Tracy, just like you're expecting that he should have had training for this interview that you're talking about, he should have had some training for it. What about the guy that was interviewing? Should he have some training?
He did. That's the thing. He did have training. He had training to be messy.
No, well, no.
And when they called that boy Z, I was like,
you don't need training to be messy, cause I'm messy, and didn't nobody train me for that. I'm messy. I want to know all of the details. I'm in the middle of it. And don't get me wrong. To be honest with you, yeah, I want to know how he would have answered the question, but I'm being realistic here too. That's not how I mean, if you're a responsible and legitimate person that's giving interviews. That's just not how it happened. You wouldn't see that on the news. You would not see that on CNN, MSNBC, and you may see it on Fox News, but you wouldn't see it on MSNBC or CNN, where at some point they would say, you know what, you don't want to answer this question. Let's move on to the next topic. That's how they would handle that. And yeah, we like the mess. We want to know the details. We want the juice. But the truth of the matter is when you see somebody, even in my real life, I guess I'm just different. But in my real life, if I got a good friend, it could be one of my good friends. If I'm pushing her to answer a question and she pushing me back, I'm backing off until she ready to tell me what she needs to tell me. And it's just how I handle it.
That's a moment. What happened?
Oh, there I go. Right there. I need to unmute myself. Brittany on the panel. Brittany said she had something she wanted to say real quick. Brittany, what you have to say real quick?
Hey, Brittany.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, everybody. I just
Hey,
want to
well,
say
what
first,
was your thoughts on this?
the first thing I want to say is, Tracy, I love you so much. I just disagree with your point on this situation, right? But first of all, I didn't know who this man was when he, this interview. I didn't even know this happened till Mizzle played the video the other day. Second, I feel like, have we ever seen him do interviews like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he been on the show for so long, but I've seen him do some interviews. I don't think he has media training like that. I also feel like, what he's trying to do now, which is why I think they killed him off on the show, is promote his music. So I feel like him doing all of this, what he's doing now, is just to get his music out there. And also, I feel like I said before, like, how do we know, just because he said I'm a single individual does not mean that he was implying that he is interested in both women and men. I think he was just saying I'm single. Like, and what I choose to do is what I choose to do. But and after so many times of him asking the same question in 500 different ways, it's like, okay, now I'm telling you straight up, I don't want to answer. I tried to be nice and subtly tell you I don't want to talk about it, but since you just keep overstepping my boundaries, I'm gonna have to tell you straight out, I'm done talking about this. Like, I don't want to talk about my sex life, my sexuality, whatever he said. But that's all I wanted to say. I love
So
y'all.
wait, Brittany, wait before you go. I got a question for you, Brittany. Do you think that the interviewer, based on what you just said, do you think that maybe he was trying to create something spicy, juicy, messy?
Yes,
Um,
absolutely. I
okay,
feel like
so you
I
think that
think it's
maybe the guy's answers legitimately had nothing to do whether or not he was gay or straight. He was answering the question simply to say that he did not want to go deeper into what he liked. It didn't
yes.
matter to him.
I
Okay.
feel like the initial question that he asked him, I feel like the reason why he stumbled over his words is because of the fact that, when you're in those positions, right, you have to be careful of what you say and how you say it. Okay? So like with the whole, lately it's been a thing, right? Somebody say something out the way about being, homosexual or whatever, it's a whole bunch of backlash that comes behind that. So I feel like and I also feel like him being, we don't know, that man could be struggling with his sexuality, and that's something that he's going
Mm-hmm.
through. You know what I'm saying? We don't know that. And so, if that is the case, and he's fighting his own sexuality inside, like, that's nobody's business. You know what I'm saying? Also, I feel like it's a difference in asking a question about who you been with and what you doing, and trying to out somebody. To me, it can, and I'm only speaking for me, it came off as if he was trying to out him. If he don't want to talk about who
Me
he's
too.
sleeping with, that's on him. He don't have to talk about who he's sleeping with. I came here to talk about something completely different, and y'all hammering these issues about who I'm sleeping with and what does a single individual mean. I thought that just means a single person. I didn't know a single individual means that you like. I don't know. I don't get that correlation. Him saying he's a single individual means he's sleeping with both men and women. That I don't understand how
nervous to answer the question. Period.
I feel
Thank
like
you.
he didn't know how to
That was
answer
my
it.
issue. That was my issue with the clip that you showed. It was when I said that the interviewer should have backed off and he should have read the dude that was answering the questions. And I'm saying that because I agree with Brittany. First of all, Brittany also said in the chat that maybe that Opulence, I'm sorry, said that maybe that question wasn't on his list of questions he might get tonight. But the other thing is what if he really is struggling with his sexuality? And I personally feel like that ain't illegal. There's other stuff that's illegal, but society will make you feel like being gay is illegal. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so for this dude to be on an open public platform being pushed, that's not how he answered the question to begin with. But then his answer is being pushed for a further answer into a direction that could be making him feel uncomfortable. Heck yeah, he should. That's the issue. That's the issue with the interviewer to me. You're flipping stuff. You're trying to make somebody feel uncomfortable on purpose. I don't know about you, but my mama told me you get more bees with honey. And so I don't ask people questions in a hostile way or a way to make them feel uncomfortable if I want a real answer. That's not how I ask them the question.
I also feel like I've seen him do, I wouldn't say an interview, but like I've never ever he was on 2 whole seasons of Power. No one has ever questioned his sex. Nobody cared what he was doing in his private life. For this to happen, it's like, okay, well, you can't say like the fans wanted to know because nobody asked that question. Like, who has been questioning this boy's sexuality? But we still call him Zeke. We still talk about him sleeping with the teacher. Like, that's what we see him as. So for me, it's just like, okay, who cares what he doing? I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry, I don't care. I could care less what he doing in his private life because first of all, he's not on the show no more. So am I gonna keep up with him? Probably not. So it's just like, why do that? To me, it seemed like he saw an opening when he first stumbled on the first words, and he was like, oh, like you said, Tracy, he saw it. He was like, oh, okay. And he jumped right on it. But after a while, it's like, oh, now you yelling at the boy and all. And it's like, sir, okay. I can understand maybe like 2-3 questions, but all of them questions he was asking him, it was the same thing like 500 different ways. And it's like, sir, I already told you, I really don't want to talk about this in the nicest way possible.
So some of his answers,
and I also
he was feeling uncomfortable with him pushing him into an answer. Maybe he felt like he was being pushed into a particular answer.
Also, Tracy, you said about the whole when Gail did the interview with Robert, right? So we saw how that transpired. Somebody that's innocent or something, and you get up and you start hooping and hollering and screaming and all that craziness, we gonna immediately think, oh yeah, he hit a nerve. It must be what. And I brought up what you said about the R. Kelly thing, but applying it to this situation, if he would have got up and started, responding how I would have responded, honestly, it would have made everybody feel like, okay, well, he must be gay because why he's so pressed about it, right? So he's trying to, be as cool as he can be without, I feel like he handled it the best way he could with probably no media training. Because if he would have acted crazy, they would have said he was gay. They still say he's gay because he didn't answer the questions directly. But like, I don't have to answer that. I didn't come here to talk to you about what I'm doing in my bedroom. Who cares? That's nobody. I didn't come here. I didn't open up this interview with, oh, let me tell you how last night I was bending somebody over. Like, it didn't happen like that. It just, you asked the question, he was upset with his answer or felt like he could get, that was an end to irritate somebody. to get him to just kind of come out and admit whatever he wanted him to admit. It just went left. It could have went a whole nother way. Like Miss 42 said, you attract more bees with honey. So, you know, with other people like that, Wendy Williams and things like that, like, Wendy gonna get to the tough questions, but she gonna start off with something sweet first. She gonna make you feel like you could trust her before she hit you with the.
Y'all know this interview was like 45 minutes long, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's not like they just asked him this, like, these, like, this is one little segment out of a whole thing. So I understand people like, oh, but the interview was more than just this. And to me, I just can't in my mind understand how someone asking you what your dating life was like in high school,
but
being
it made headlines.
Being a question that is now like, that's a super tough question that nobody should ask. Like, that's the tough question? Like,
well, because
I'm saying for me,
yeah,
right?
Like you said,
if I ask you a question and you start stumbling over your answers, I then get curious. That's what it is for me. It's when you start stumbling over your answers, I then get curious. Had he just said, nah, you know, I was more focused on football, because he talked about football and he talked about, you know, all this other kind of stuff. So he said, nah, I was more focused on this. It wouldn't have been one of those things that got doubled down on. But it was like, this was the only thing that he stumbled over, which is what piqued the curiosity to this part of the conversation. And so I think that's where I'm coming from, in the aspect of, if we've been talking for 45 minutes and you don't stumble over any of your questions, and then I ask you a question that, for all intents and purposes, is not a difficult question, right? What was your dating life like in high school, or how were you with the ladies, isn't a difficult question. And then you start to stumble, it then piques my curiosity, because why you stumbling over that?
But it could be difficult to somebody. I mean,
because you don't feel like it's difficult, I think that somebody might do. Like, some people don't talk about their private sexual or relationship life or thing. It's some things that we probably will not talk about that somebody else might say, oh, it's probably easy. Why you can't answer the question? There are some things each one in the panel will not talk about, even if it might be easy for someone else to say, I'll just ask you a simple question. But still, it's something that we don't want to talk about. So maybe that part of his life, even if you have to talk about 45 minutes, was something that he don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
So it's uncomfortable for him to even talk about that, even you may feel like it's simple.
Well, I
think that's what it is, especially when you have people villainizing being homosexual. When you have people villainizing it and the fact that he even asked the question means that there's some type of feeling there. Rather, I don't know if the interviewer, agrees with homosexuality or not. Who cares? But the fact that he even asked the question, because to me, personally, don't ask me or anybody that I know that question. That's none of your business. Now, if you see me with my husband or you see my friend with his husband, then you know what it is. So you don't have to ask no questions. But in certain situations, to me, when you ask that question, you're being messy. Just to ask the question simply because of how people you're asking a man. So you know how, especially men, how heterosexual men, how they feel about being asked about being homosexual. So you already know that type of question is messy, period, no matter how you ask it and who you ask it to. And then if you keep pushing with the question, you're really just being simply messy to me.
Well, Tracy, I do see your point, and in him asking the question in the first place. I definitely understand that because he stumbled over his words. That's totally fine. My issue was, like, you can ask the question one time, maybe 2 or 3 times, but after I done already, let you know in the most subtle way possible that I really don't want to talk about this, and you keep pushing, and that whole yelling situation and all of that, that to me was too much. Because yeah, obviously, if you stumble over your words, okay, yeah, sure, you're curious, but if I keep, dancing around the question, at some point you're gonna have to read the room and just accept what I have to say, and if not, then that's just what. But I do see your point now. That's really all I wanted. I wanted to try to understand where you was coming from, because at first I was like, "Girl, what?" But I get it. I understand.
At the end of the day, though, can we all agree on one thing, that Daniel Lee Bellamy, whatever his name is, he is not far off from his real character Zeke. Not to try to crayon in the box. He's a little bit of a dog. There's nothing against him at all, but he definitely does need more media training, because true enough, he could have really handled that situation with them questions a lot different, whether he was gay or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
He could have flipped that completely different on him, but it didn't. The thing kind of went left a little bit, and now there's questions of him out there. But like they said, or who was that? Mizzle said he's just trying to promote his music anyway. That's why they killed him off the show. He got other fish to fry. And we're going to move on from some Zeke Cross, child. R.I.P. to Zeke, child. Monet, I don't know.
When they called that boy Zeke in the interview, I damn near hollered.
When he did that, I was like, oh, you sunning him now. You sunning him on the cool, talking about Zeke. Come on now, Zeke. Now you even hear he was like, whoa, hold on. Because yeah, you were being real disrespectful. But y'all, welcome to stay up to give your commentary on the next thing that we are going to get into. I'm going to show y'all once again a picture. I'm going to play the audio for you guys to listen to, but I'm going to show you guys a picture of this. A 5-year-old student at a Florida elementary school and Pine Lakes Elementary is charged with aggravated battery and bodily harm, y'all. This is after the 5-year-old beat the brakes off his teacher. I'm going to play this for you guys to listen to, and then we will give our commentary on that in just a moment. Let me pull this up. Come on now, computer. There we go.
Disruptive students.
And when officers got there, they say a teacher responsive and...
Hold on, let me take it back.
Gosh, thank you. We are following a development from Pembroke Pines where police had to be called to an elementary school because of a disruptive student.
And when officers got there, they say a teacher was unresponsive and needed immediate medical attention. Local 10's Joseph Ojo is live with what...
Uh-oh, y'all. My bad. I'm having technical difficulties. Hold on, y'all.
Gosh, thank you. We are following a developing story from Pembroke Pines where police had to be called to an elementary school. Gosh, thank you. We are following a developing story from Pembroke Pines where police had to be called to an elementary school because of a disruptive student.
And when officers got there, they say a teacher was unresponsive and needed immediate medical attention. Local 10's Joseph Ojo is live with what he's learned. Joseph.
And we have learned that it was a 5-year-old student that could be facing some serious trouble after allegedly battering a teacher here at Pines Lake Elementary. This incident so bad that it left the teacher unresponsive. She had to be placed on a stretcher and taken to the hospital.
A 5-year-old could be facing some serious charges after allegedly battering a teacher. It all happened Wednesday at Pines Lake Elementary School. The police report says it started when a 4-year-old and 5-year-old began throwing things around the classroom and at teachers, along with flipping chairs. The teacher radioed for help. The report says the first officer to respond saw the teacher sitting on the ground against a wall, appearing to be in a faint state. The officer tried holding her up, but she was weak and dazed, and the teacher was coughing and dry heaving. Paramedics would also show up to find the teacher unresponsive. She was placed on a stretcher and taken to Memorial Regional Hospital. Police tell us the 5-year-old was not arrested, but the incident report says the child could be charged with aggravated battery and causing bodily harm.
And the principal did send out a letter to parents alerting them of this incident that did happen on Wednesday, adding that the school's campus was secure during this incident. As for what punishment, if any, that will be handed down to that child, we are still working on getting that information. In Pembroke Pines, I'm Joseph Ojo, Local 10 News.
Now that was a good ass question that you asked right there. How the hell big was the 5-year-old? I don't damn know. Obviously, it was a big ass 5-year-old. I had a couple of questions when I heard this story. How big was the Hey, Taquela Boo. How big was the teacher? How old was the teacher? Because if little Billy going in there beating the cowboy hell out of Miss Peggy, we gonna have to do something. Baby sis, I start with you because you work closely with kids. Could a 5-year-old beat your ass like that?
First of all, no, not me personally. Now, 2 co-workers that work with me, yeah, I could totally see them 5-year-olds tearing up their asses because they weak. Let a 5-year-old beat me up. I'm going to jail for abuse. That's number 1.
Baby.
That is number 1. Number 2. Why is it that you cannot control your classroom? You got 2 kids throwing things back and forth. I work with 2-year-olds. Let one of my 2-year-olds throw food across the floor. Y'all picking it up. Y'all going right in timeout. You're lucky you're not my kid. I will say there is a child who has some behavioral issues and they are throwing things. And at this point, it's going back to the parent because this parent is laughing, kiki, haha. They're 3. That's what 3-year-olds do. No, 3-year-olds don't throw. All right. Now you're talking about a 4- and 5-year-old throwing stuff. And it sounds like this 5-year-old, while this teacher was eye level trying to talk down this 5-year-old, the 5-year-old done gotten gully and was like in the head, in the gut, because you not hitting nobody in the head and you 5, you barely come up to the top of their kneecaps in some cases. So you got a teacher when the teacher was trying to do right by you by getting down to your little measly 2 inches from the ground level. All right. Let me get pulled. Let me have to leave my place of work out on a stretcher because a miniature midget decided to get froggy and leap with me. Behavioral issues, that's what I'm saying. But I'm fighting somebody. If I can't fight the kid, I'm fighting the parents.
I'm fighting their mamas off the rip on GP.
Right.
10 toes down. Get these paws, knuckle up, throw them things. It is what it is. Mizzle, if you were at work and you had some customers you were dealing with and they 5-year-old come up and kick shit out you on your knees, what are you going to do? Kicks you down and your level starts wailing on your ass. What you going to do?
That's why ain't no edgewall coming up to me and try to kick me anything. I'm in a cubicle. You ain't coming inside of there. So you take your little behind somewhere else. But let's say I'm only can rely on my own income. I have nobody else to help me. So I'm quick to dial 911 and let the parents handle that. Fuck out of here. Sure. That's me. I mean, I know people will say, oh, yeah, I'm for the hood. Ain't no that shit. I don't have no child hit me either. But I ain't going to go to jail for no child either. Because when I'm put my hand on that child. Yeah. Ain't no not your choice. I can't put my hand in the car because they ain't going to look at, oh, well, that child was handing them all or something like that. I'm a grown ass 36 years old. And you don't think they're not going to put my ass in jail?
I'd have tried to
somebody's child like that. So, everything. So, it's the time and place and know your protocols. So, like I said, I'm not quick to fight, but at the same time, I will defend myself, but I'm not no child. I'll probably go out to camp or something like that, whatever. But
I damn sure would have put him
for my job, I really don't want to lose my job because at the end of the day, who gonna help me when I need to get to stuff like I think about things like that. So like that. So y'all might judge me, but I don't care but me, I only rely on myself. So I have to think about things before I want to take off the being hood and say, oh, I grew up in Brooklyn. You gotta learn things like that. But this in a situation, I have a lot of questions because I don't know a lot of y'all know, but I do have a background in school counseling. It's like that. I went to psychology and the rest like that. So in their protocols when a child is disrupting the classroom like that. So I don't know what happened that made her go down eye level with a child is destructive like that, to get beat up like that from a child, allegedly get beat up. Because usually when a child is throwing stuff and throwing things in the classroom, your safety and the other safety of the children comes first. So you escort the other children out, whatever, you leave out the room and let them get caught. They usually got school safety to handle the children, the detained, whatever that has happened. So ain't no other way that teacher should have got hospitalized for that. Now, I don't know, some schools sometimes, even though you call, they may take 1,000,001 years to come upstairs to try to help you. So that's what sometimes, that's really, I wouldn't want to school anymore, because the school politics is sometimes is so crazy. And it's hard. And it's very difficult. You don't get paid much. You just like that. So it is very difficult as a teacher. So more power to teachers out there, the educators out there, because it is very difficult. So, but this protocol set in stone for that. And for her to get hospitalized like that, I don't know, maybe I don't think, if she did, because I don't know what possible way that she would get hospitalized unless she was trying to go down and try to detain the kids herself and put herself in harm. And that's that. So you have to think about that, because now this 5 years old, who probably, this is not probably the first offense, that the fact he will go that far and hitting a teacher like that. So then maybe he might have records in the school that he had disruptive behavior. So don't get me wrong, y'all, I don't like being hit. But at the same time, I'm not going to jail for hitting no child either. It's like that. I will say, move away from me, it's like that. But I keep my distance. It's like that. So don't get me wrong. I don't like being hit by anybody. But you also got to think about yourself when you go older. As the older you get, they don't go be lenient to you and say, oh, well, all right. But it is protocols. So let's try to not think about so much of the streets and then think about the atmosphere in the school system and like that. But I don't know what happened in that moment that made the teacher let to get hospitalized by this 5 years old. Did she bend down? And that's one thing. The worst thing you should be not do it either, to bend down to a child level when they throwing things. You gotta get yourself in safety and your other children in the classroom. I'm surprised they say no other children got hurt, because why they throwing around stuff in the classroom? What was going on here? So that's that. And that child of 5 years old. I don't know. I'm not in a big law firm. It's like that can happen. But when you got records or something like that, this kid might have disruptive behavior. It hasn't been any interventions between the child. What had to be anything with the parents? Was there any meetings? Nothing like that. What was the son? So I like to learn this thing. I like to learn this type of things because I had a education background. But other hand, everybody will say, "Oh hell no!" Like I'm like that too. Don't get me wrong. Yes, I might have a more correct answer, but at the same time, I won't like to be hit by no child either. So my first reaction might be want to hit, but at the same time, I'm gonna probably move myself and call 911. Let them handle that.
This is my thing. If you've ever worked in the medical field before, or people that have worked in certain hospitals or where you deal with those that suffer from different mental health issues that may or may not be violent or whatnot, you learn certain tactics or how to restrain. I forgot what it's called exactly, but you learn different ways to restrain people. Me personally, and me being completely and totally honest, I'm twice, if not three times the size of a 5-year-old. I am restraining that child before I let that child beat my ass. Now, there are ways you can restrain a child without hurting them, whether that's putting them in a full Nelson, whether that's hog tying their asses down, whether it's just simply putting them down and getting their arms behind their back some sort of way. Mm-hmm. There's absolutely a way you can restrain them to where you are not hurting them, but at the same time, you are keeping both them and yourself safe. That's what me personally, Monick, would have done before I'm going to be like, no, stop. Now, the teacher did try to call security, but by the time she got there, she was already seeing stars, clovers, and moons, because the baby had already knocked her ass out by then. Mm-hmm. So in a way, again, I want to know exactly what the level of the beating was, because by the way they saying it,
yeah, like
he went down there and called him Mash, and he just beat her from the ceiling to the, from the window to the wall or something.
Yeah.
Tracy, what do you think?
No, I was about to say, what you would say about the medical field, that people might be trained to do this type of thing because y'all have some training, but teachers and educators and counselors don't have that training. So we can't be going detaining those child because we might, like you say, you might hurt them or something like that. But
at
so
the same time,
but at the same time, but they don't teach you how to detain anyone. They tell you the steps of going through when you have a disruptive child. Usually they have school safety. So you call them and everything, or you move yourself from the hostile environment with the child. And like, I had this happen one time when I was dealing with a child, when I was counselor. When the child was throwing stuff in the room and everything, me and the counselor got out the room and kept them in the room like that until the school kids came and dealt with them. So it is kind of protocol. So yes, we could probably say we could do that, but you have to know your training, because then she did something and then on the way around, she ended up hurting him, put in the hospital because he was disruptive. Then now it could be a whole different story, because now the parents want to sue the school because the parent detained him, even though that child was acting bad. It's a whole lot of games and suing and all stuff like that. Maybe y'all would probably know more politics, but I know as an education field, it's protocols and some things you can't and cannot do. And even though this fortunate, I don't know how this happened to that point.
Tracy, what do you think that punishment should be for that child? And are they really going to? Well, I'm gonna save that question for Miss 42. Like a 5-year-old, what's gonna happen to him? What's your thoughts, Tracy?
Teachers don't get paid enough.
I agree with that.
Teachers don't get paid enough.
100%. I agree with that.
I'm also going to tell you this.
Absolutely.
I'm not about to get beat by no tiny terror. I'm sorry. That's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. If I with my own 5-year-old, you aren't off limits. You go throw a chair at me? A chair. Okay. All right. You and that stool gonna be in the window. Legitimately attached to the window. They be like, what did you do? Like the baby face pressed up. Like, yeah, I know. They got their face print stuck up against the window because I just, I decided to squish them. They can breathe. They good. But what you ain't gonna do is hit me with no chair. I was like, oh, did she get a stool to the head or something? That just sounds crazy. Cause how you seeing that the kid just roundhoused you with a stool? Like, because it said it was throwing stools in the article. I was like, yeah, there's something about that. See, this is also why I couldn't work with kids.
Clovers and blue moons.
Because I'd be like, call your mama, because I can put my hands on her too. I can't do it. That's just not in my ministry. Good luck to her. But I don't know what they need to do with the little tiny terror over there, but they need to do something.
Miss 42, can they actually charge a 5-year-old with what was it again? Aggravated battery and bodily harm.
I don't know. Depending on the state, it's possible. What I will say is that those laws are across the board for parents. So if the 5-year-old isn't charged, it's possible the parents can either be charged or sued. And I got a soft spot for the little ones, because when I hear this story, I feel like we have to remember that it's a 5-year-old, so he ain't had no life. He don't know anything but what he's seen and what he's taught. And without hearing his history, his parents could easily be charged with endangering a minor, in a sense, depending on what they have and haven't done, as it relates to that. So my questions would be, what's his history? Has he done this before? Should he be in a different classroom, maybe a special classroom? Does he have some mental issues that his parents have not addressed, refused to address? That Oxford high school shootings here, and we've been following it literally, watching the hearings and stuff of both the parents and the child, the 15-year-old that killed those kids.
The parents are being charged as well, and literally for involuntary manslaughter. And to be honest with you, the more you hear about the story, it's appropriate charges because the boy literally had a diary, and it was only a couple of weeks long, and every single day he was talking about what he was going to do at the school shooting. And they purchased him a gun for Christmas, even though for almost a year he had practically begged them for mental health help. You know, he was telling them, he articulated at 15 years old that he was having a mental breakdown, and they didn't listen. So my question would be, at 5 years old, we know that kids have issues growing up. It may not be a mental issue. Maybe he just need a little therapy and get it together. Maybe the parents need some coaching to help their son get it together. But he is 5, you know, and so I would hate to hear that he's charged with an adult crime at 5 years old when he can't even wrap his mind around the consequences that would come behind a charge like that if he was an adult. You know what I mean? So this is sad to me. I feel like there may be some things that have not been addressed with the 5-year-old. But my other question would be who sees a 5-year-old acting a fool and bend down into their face?
Come on now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. What led her to that? If that was the issue, if that's what she did.
I could bet you that the teacher don't look like none of us.
I want to know what the child looked like.
And that's what I was saying. There are protocols. When you see a child disruptive like that, you move the other children and yourself out the room. So that's what I was like. I don't know. Did she feel like she had to? She was able to detain the child, but I guess it didn't happen that way. But did she feel like she could do it?
The only way this would be explained to me is if the minute she bent down to find out what's wrong with you, little Johnny, and he took a chair and busted her upside the head,
right?
That would be the only way that I can understand that. But if I see him upset, throwing things or whatever, the last thing I'm trying to do is get near him. The school that my youngest goes to, when he was brick and mortar, is a special school. They have all of their rooms are equipped to lock a certain way. So if everyone had to get out the room and leave somebody in there, the kid that's left inside can't hurt themselves or anyone else. You know, that's what they're prepared for. So I don't know. If he got issues and they haven't been addressed, then that teacher probably was not prepared. And yeah, now we're here.
That's sad. Brittany, you don't have kids yet, right? Or do you have kids? What you gonna do if a 5-year-old come up to you, size you up like that?
Not size up.
Okay, well, first of all, me and the 5-year-old is probably the same size. But that's besides the point. As a resident of Florida, I am a Floridian. Okay.
Ratchet ass Florida. Come on now.
This is what I can say. I have been in the classroom when one of the students has thrown a chair at a teacher. But I will say that it was provoked. I'm not saying that's what happened in this situation because I don't know. But I do know I've been in a lot of classrooms where a lot of teachers have provoked a lot of things. And so, again, I don't want to blame her, but I need to hear the other side because it's one thing to paint this child as like this big, bad, terrible monster, but like you supposed to be. And also, I can say like when I was in high school, people were just looking for jobs, and like you really don't have to have too many qualifications to be a teacher. I had a technology teacher that used to have a corporate job but got laid off and didn't have anything else to do, so he got a teacher job. Was he teaching us anything? Absolutely not. But he was my teacher, so like I don't know. But me and the 5-year-old probably the same size. I also wouldn't bend down if I see a child acting crazy. I'll call somebody from, okay, hey, I need you to come up here because little Johnny up here acting the fool and I don't know what to do right now. I would call him before he even gets to the point of throwing the chair at you. But I've seen that happen. And it was actually quite funny. But the teacher didn't get hurt, so maybe that's why it was funny. I don't know. But that's all I have. I don't have kids, though. Well, I do, but not living.
I wonder if she, oh, bless your heart. I wonder if she got caught up in the crossfire some kind of way, because they said it was a 4 and a 5-year-old that got into it. And what if she just got in the mix, trying to separate that and got knocked in the head with one of them little, y'all know them little kindergarten stools, them little kindergarten chairs, them suckers be hard.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but
the only thing that stopped my teacher from getting hit in the face with the chair was the fact that she was sitting on a rolling chair, so she saw it coming at her and was able to move out of the way. But again, she provoked that entire situation. She was a terrible teacher, and we was like in the 4th or 5th grade, I want to say. So yeah, I mean, she would have got fucked up that day. I ain't gonna lie. She was on the rolling chair, so she kind of ducked and dodged the chair on top. It was hilarious. But even when it happened, they didn't send us out. They sent her out. It's the girl that threw the chair. They put her out of class.
I think it's I just it's sad that we need to remember that it's a 5-year-old. And I can recall times. I remember the day that I had to tell my oldest, get your ass up out the floor because them tantrums, now you're looking crazy because you too big to have your big butt down there on that floor. But at the time, he was like, I don't know, 10, 11. Big boy, my kid's big, but he was only 10 or 11. So his response, his reaction was a 10 or 11-year-old reaction. This 5-year-old, no, that's not appropriate. I'm not saying it's appropriate, but what I'm saying is, yeah, I mean, we wouldn't go out and throw a chair if something happened at our jobs, or if we out in the public and something happened that we don't like, we don't get down on the ground and have a tantrum, and we don't throw chairs. Generally, the majority of us that got all our scruples, we don't do that. So we have to remember that it's a 5-year-old. Now, as far as his parents is concerned, again, could they be charged? Could he be charged? I think it all depends on the history. If there's something there and they ignored it, then maybe. But yeah, and then if not, then this is a clear indication that we might need to have this baby get some type of help or some assistance or talk.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's why I was like, what was going on? If they had a history like that, they would have a school record, because usually you got like an IEP or whatever the thing. You will go to the school psychologist or whatever and see if it's with the child, because at that time it's the development age. So it's like they go by emotion. They go by reaction emotions. They don't probably not know exactly what they probably was doing. They just go by their emotions. So as much people could say, oh yeah, sure, me like that. But at the same time, we have to think about when we was that young. And something that happened, we might go off something we might not understand. That's why you can take people to teach you. That's when you get older, you learn how to handle emotions. So that's what I'm saying, that in that aspect, was there any records? But they said 4 or 5 years old, only 5 years old did the most damage. What happened to the 4-year-old? What the hell that 4-year-old? It just stopped. It's like that. I'm saying that's the, you got to think about a lot of things. Like, what was the records? And if it was, did they have meetings with the parent? Was something going on at home? Because sometimes stuff might happen at home and it trickles down to the school. Shelter, school, so like that.
I agree with you, Mizzle, but we just talked about last week how old girl and them got charged with putting her man's stuff in them cupcakes and handing them out to them kids. These Florida people they could be real crazy down here. So I'm not, like I said, like, based off the information that they gave us, it sounds like the child did something crazy, but I feel like I need to hear the whole story, because
what led to that? What happened? Yeah.
Yeah, it's it when the whole Oxford shooting thing, the child had been asking for almost a year. As a matter of fact, it's March, so it's been a whole year. He had been asking for mental help. When you got a child that's old enough to articulate that, great, and we can do something about it. But
Right.
when you got a little one, they don't know, and they need us. If they could raise themselves, they wouldn't have parents. You know what I mean? They wouldn't be all in my doggone pocket, draining me once a week for doggone groceries and stuff.
Eating up
So
all my damn food.
I'm trying to tell you. I mean,
All my damn milk and tea.
when they growing, you have to teach them. But yeah, again, I'm still with Brittany Mizzle. If we don't know the background. If there is some background, then things should have been different. He probably shouldn't even been in that classroom to begin with.
To begin with,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but you know what's sad? What's really sad is I keep bringing up the Oxford thing because it's really devastating here where I'm at. Um, the same day of the shooting, the parents came to the school because the boy had drew some pictures, and the day before he had been looking up ammunition and all kind of stuff. Meanwhile, the gun was in his backpack. The parents came up to the school. They took him out the class. They were told you need to get him some therapy ASAP. And they were asked to take him home with them, and they didn't.
They didn't, yeah.
And he went back to class and he did what he did. There's no way I would go up to a school after if you call me about man, he coming home. I don't care if it was because he sneezed on somebody. Okay. I'm taking him home with me. And had they just taken him home, it would have saved so many lives.
Yep.
So many lives. But they didn't care. And that's where the negligence comes in, and that's the crime in that situation. And it would be the same for this little one in the event his parents had been told to do something, or even the school. They could have been negligent too if they didn't say anything to the parents. Yeah.
Said maybe he saw violence in the household.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah.
Never know.
That's why school system is so unorganized, because it's so much going on and there's not many resources to even handle a lot of this stuff like that. And
yeah,
it's crazy.
Bless that child. Hopefully we ain't hearing nothing else about him later on, or whoever it is later on. They didn't say if it was a boy or a girl. We just assuming it's a little boy. You never know. It could be a little hell. It could have been little Susie up and down.
Child knocked the teacher out. Ooh, child.
Yeah, we never know. She up in that record shop. Anywho, y'all, next thing we want to get into real quick, I am just going to show the picture and I'm going to play the audio in the background. Y'all know who, what is her name? Avante Wright. She is the side chick of 9 years to Shawn Stockman. He is Boys to Men, the tall, skinny dude from Boys to Men. I'm going to play this quick audio from Tasha K. Shout out to Tasha K. She did an interview with her where Avante spoke out about basically spilling all kinds of tea on her relationship with Shawn. So I'm going to play this and then we're going to get into our commentary.
First urban legendary swimsuit.
Did I hear something in the back? Okay, I thought I heard something in the back. My bad.
Avante Wright, okay? First urban legendary swimsuit centerfold, and you were a spiritual wife to Boys to Men,
Shawn Stockman. I was a mistress.
Did you ever have passings with his wife?
She didn't even know her husband.
I did an interview with Ariane Curry.
You know your husband. So you need to always check your husband. You don't go talk to another woman about something that your husband is pursuing.
You said that interview triggered you.
I knew that our verbal agreement did not hold up to their written agreement.
Why do you think he was so gung-ho about getting married, but yet he was spiritually in love with you?
That's their faith, that they can have multiple wives.
But don't the wives have to be on one accord?
She finally found out when I left the information at her door. He said he put my wife in the hospital.
So that, all the dramatic music and all that. Shout out to you, Opulence. I sure enough appreciate you, boo. So yeah, she was the mistress to Shawn Stockman of Boys to Men. Now, Mizzle, you listen. I still got like 20 minutes left, but I listened to a majority of it with you. What homegirl did was went and left the info. Did she leave it at the doorstep of the wife, basically? And in it contained, it was just a box of text messages, emails, just all the tea between their relationship. Now, suppose the wife didn't know about her. She was with him before the wife came into the picture. He is, I don't know, and I don't want to disrespect the culture, but he is of the Israelite culture. And I believe a lot of Israelite. I have a cousin who's an Israelite, and like I said, I don't want to be disrespectful to the culture because I don't know a lot about it at all. But in their culture, they believe in having multiple wives or spouses or whatnot, whatever you want to call it. And she was his spiritual wife for 9 years. She would basically give him the okay on different women he could be with. It was a whole mess to it. This was something else that Mizzle kind of started on his live talk earlier. So Mizzle, I'll let you start with it. Give us a quick rundown of some of the tea that she was spilling.
Okay. So I'm gonna fully talk about it next Sunday on my live. I'm gonna fully talk about it, but I did watch the whole thing. And the quick rundown is that the wife of the current wife of Shawn was the stylist of the group. So she and the wife though didn't know when he got married. The wife didn't know that that's the person that he was messing with, but they did knew each other at some point because she was coming around to the tours and stuff like that, and she was a stylist. So that's the wife, current wife of Shawn, and that's that. I'm skipping around because I'm trying to go into detail. So she met Shawn, doing mutual friend and everything. They came together. She was on tours and everything. Man, she's like, he said hi and she was hooked and everything. Born on to the Israelite culture. And because of that, she born into it and all that stuff like that. She had a fiance at the time. So she ended with her fiance to be with Shawn fully. And they had like a verbal agreement that all he had to be is honest. He had to make sure she's all good, okay, whether it's financially or not. And always call her or something like that every day. That's what I said. That's what he had to do. And he called her on his wedding day. He said, listen, I'm about to get married. Are you be okay with that? And she said, cool, I'm all right with it. Go ahead and marry your wife. So I was thinking that she may think that she was the only one with him with this. It was like, I'm not going to disrespect your culture, like you said, the Israelite culture, everything. But I think a lot of them use that for a way to do what they want to do. We know it's not really legal, so that stuff, and it's not morally right. But that's the culture. That's what they practice. And that's what they're going to do for spiritual wife, the mistress, for 9 years and everything. Now, fast forward that whole little relationship they was going on with each other. The reason why she get to that point when she took the box to the house is that I skip a lot of things. Well, but that's the main point. When they was in a relationship, they was all good for like 6 to 7 years. She was happy. After that 7th year, he was starting doing some other things that she was privy to, that she was not privy to, and she started getting upset because he was not honest with her. And you were saying that, yes. And sometimes he would bring other women to see if she's okay with it, if she's going to be brought into it. She's not brought into the spiritual realm, because I know a lot of things she like to do that. She like distinguishing the real world and the spiritual world, and how they were so different. So in the worldly world, he had his wife and him, but in the spiritual world, it's me and him. So like that. So the thing. So I didn't really need to know what the wife is doing, and I'm not the wife. And she kept trying to make that thing that I'm not the wife, because I know a lot of them than him, because he's comfortable with me. She's not comfortable with me. I said, oh, you think that's a badge of honor? So when he lied, and he had this like a mutual friend of her that she was having sex with him, because at the time she said she wasn't having sex with him until they got spiritual bound and everything, and he was getting fellatio with one of the female, and she got pissed off because he never told her. Like, oh, you had to be honest. So because she was pissed off, she was depressed and everything. she was so mad, she decided to take a whole, like a box with text messages, the pics of his deeds, videos, anything that can, text her so she could pick up the box and everything. But she did not know that she was married. Not married, pregnant. She was pregnant. Shawn did not tell her that she was pregnant. She said, if I knew she was pregnant, I would not do that. I would not have done that. I said, at the end of the day, you still wanted to break the thing because you wanted to end it. And she felt like that was the only way to end it. No means necessary. Like, there's no holding back. I'm not moving forward with you. I got to end it. And she had to send that. So fortunately, she didn't have the baby early, but she went to the hospital and everything. And then that's basically how the end of the relationship. I mean, he called her. He said, you messed this up. All that stuff. My wife was in the hospital. But then again, she tried to act like she was so moral. And there's another thing that about this, she was saying that, I was mad of Ariel because she was not being apologetic towards white. You should be me to a wife. Which we all understand that. Listen, we would have gave you grace, Ariel, even though we didn't like you. If you would have been like sorry about Melanie and stuff like that. But I guess Avante was so apologetic and everything and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, okay, girl, you did this. So from there, they stopped talking and they got to Twitter. He was bashing her out. And that's how I get everybody started to realize that who she is or who she was or who this other mistress is, bashing her out. And she started retweeting back. And that's when people put pieces together. And I think one time she said she reached out to the lady, the wife on Instagram and everything. And I guess that's how the current wife, Shonda, I hope I said her name right. No, it was Avante, that was the mistress and everything, because her wife did not know none of the stuff like this, like pretty oblivious.
Are you right? Okay, first
that was the whole gist of it. It is more detail, she said, but that was the whole gist of it, the whole spectrum. And she know him as best friends for 10 years, but they was spiritual husband and wife for 8 or 9 years. I said it was a mistress, whatever. Y'all trying to have the fancy term, it was a mistress, something like that. But that was that. But she was trying to be like the classy, moral type of chick. And Ariel was more the messy one. And I would say, oh, you trying to distinguish the level of some holism going on here? That was a whole look down. But I was like, okay, so I'm going to talk about it more on Sunday, but I don't want everybody else to get their opinion. But I was like, wow. So you get all these details. But my question is, why now? Boys and Men has been around for a long time. So why now? And she said the reason why she prompted to give her side, because when she saw the interview with Tasha did with Ariel, and she was upset that Ariel was not apologetic or not responsible for the wife. So she wanted to give her side. So I was like, okay, that was your motivation to do this interview because of Ariel interview. Okay, girl.
And she hasn't been with him in how long?
Yes, a long time. I don't know. Yeah, I'm 22 right now, so I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago. I don't know what the last time she stepped. I don't think she gave a specific date when she ended, but she just said timeline 10 years, 8 or 9 years she's been with him, and that's it.
Baby sis, did you have something that you wanted to add to it? I don't know why homegirl came in and said something now neither.
Yeah, I was just gonna be like, put the thing back in your mouth and shut up. Get back, shut up. Sit down, shut up. Ain't nobody asked for your opinion. Did nobody want your opinion? You was doing fine before. Don't be bitter just because somebody done spit in your tea. All right, girl, just don't. Didn't you have one of his babies anyway? Don't you got that lockdown money? I'm confused.
Did she have one of his kids?
No. She said she was pregnant by him twice. The first time she got rid of it. The second time she miscarried, but he never told her to get rid of it. I guess she just did it because she felt like it was right. But she said to her little kids,
she's been all the tea.
And anyway, I never thought he was the attractive one in Boys to Men anyway. So you getting upset over a giraffe face person. So
me too. I always thought it was the little chubby one.
Right. No, sir. No, sir. He got a rectangle shaped head and you fighting over a basic shape. Girl boo, bye. Basic.
Tracy, what's your thoughts?
That she was the old school side chick until she decided to become a new school side chick. Because I'm gonna say she hung in there for a good long time.
Yes.
I mean, a good long time, saying absolutely nothing. I mean, she the type of side chick your granddaddy used to have. One of those. She was.
Yeah, he has some.
Strong. I mean, that's a good long time to sit there and deal with that. But hey, I mean, I guess that's her story to tell. I appreciate her not bad mouthing a wife. I do appreciate that. But sus girl, you sound crazy, right? Just I hope you sound crazy.
Even though she tried classy base it, but still.
Yep, like just as long as you know she sound crazy.
Now, Miss 42, I was gonna ask you, but the BK's Empress just said he had financial problems.
Yeah, she did say that she had financial problems through the time.
But never mind, because my question was gonna be, how long could you hang in there if you was getting financial perks? But never mind, nigga wouldn't have no money no way.
No, she did say she got like shoes and bags and trips and jewelry
good
when he had it.
Things, but when he didn't, she would still stick around because he'd been so good, best friends. She would take care of things like the flights or I'll pay for hotel rooms, all that stuff like that. But he never went.
I ain't mad at him.
Ciao. Well, first I want to say, Shawn, I am so thoroughly disappointed in him. Like baby sis said, I probably wouldn't have called him a rectangle head nigga. But this story is not a story I thought would have ever been associated with him. I thought he was I had a trust for him in my head. Okay. Yeah, I just thought he was the one that, he stood straight up and down with his skinny butt. So I thought he was the one that was going to do the right thing. However, the chick, I feel some type of way. I do sometimes have a soft spot, call me crazy or not, for unknowing side pieces. I feel bad, especially when they're being lied to and they don't know what's going on. But in this case, the fact that you knew that if you put a box together with some stuff in it and give it to somebody, it could hurt them, lets me know that you knew the role that you were playing. So his wife didn't know. Am I clear on that? His wife had no idea about this other chick.
Right.
No, his wife had no idea about.
But the chick knew about the wife.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the chick was there before the wife.
Like they knew each other, but she did. Sharonda did not know that Vontae was the spiritual wife, whatever he was dealing with, or behind the thing, because she was a stylist. So they know each other, but she did not know the extent of their relationship like that.
Okay. So poor wife. The Vontae chick, I don't feel no types of way for her or him. Whatever they got coming. I understand that there is spiritual things going on here. I do understand polygamy. I also believe that polygamy, if it's done the right way, it can work. If it's done the wrong way, in this case, it won't work. Again, the fact that she knew that if she took a box and put some stuff in it, that she even had some stuff to put in the box that would devastate another human. And her response is, if I had known she was pregnant, I wouldn't have did that, which lets me know that you knew how devastating whatever it was you was going to put in this box was going to be. Lets me know that so anything that's done in the dark comes to the light. It's secretive. The fact that you knew his wife didn't know, just blows everything out the water for me. You knew his wife didn't know the details, the significance of who you were and what role you played. And you also knew that you had some stuff that you could give to her that would devastate her. I'm good on all of them. Him and her can kick rocks for all I care.
Okay, kick rocks with open toe shoes. And I'm sure
Child.
he has been around for 9 years, even before the wife. You can't tell me she ain't never been around the wife, neither.
She had.
Her and the wife have not been in the same space at some point in time.
Polygamy is a real thing. It can work. It happens. People do it. People survive. They love it. There's people that love it. All he had to do, if that's what he wanted to do, he could have told him, but instead it was secret. And her, what's her name, Avante? She went along with the secret. She was okay with this other woman over here not knowing the details of this relationship. And she was also okay with holding on to things that could cause him problems later on. That ain't love.
No.
Avante said she was a part of the polygamous relationship with him, just not with his wife. It was with the other people she was a part of it with. She said she was down for the polygamy, just not with the wife. Just not with the wife. That's all.
Right.
Not with the wife.
Right. Well, Tracy not lying.
She said the wife was the problem. She was down with the polygamy with the other women. It was just the wife she couldn't get down with it with.
Yeah.
And Lord, she was
too doggone much.
And that's what her issue. When he was not honest about the other lady that had a good, like she performed facial on, she got pissed and it got blew up and
blew up the whole spot. Well, like JW said, rules of being a side chick are just like rules of Fight Club. First rule of Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club, okay? So she messed that up off the rip. The last story that we're going to get into tonight, y'all, before we get out of here, Deelishis, I like to kiss, what's his name? Flavor Flav in the mouth, whatever her last name is. Her husband, Raymond Santana, he is one of the Central Park Five we were just talking about earlier from the movie When They See Us. He is filing a divorce from her. Now, she went on, why do these celebrities choose to go to social media with their personal relationship problems? I would never understand, but it is tea for us. I totally get that. She went on social media saying that basically, because people were calling her a gold digger and basically saying that she was leaving because the money probably ran out. She's saying that he left them, that he's a narcissist, and that basically he is not dealing with a lot of his childhood trauma. And so a lot of issues that he had, he was taking out on her. Let's see. We'll start with you, Miss 42. I don't know if they signed a prenup or any of that, how any of that goes, but he wants a divorce from her. Now, people like Deelishis and Halle Berry, and who is that? And Jennifer Lopez, they are beautiful women. Why do they have issues keeping these men? Like, what is going on?
Because they in it for the wrong reasons. The fact that she said that he might have childhood traumas or issues blows my mind. Because of course he does.
Duh.
Of course he does.
She knows that.
Of course, yes. Of course he does. She knew that before she went into it. He been dealing with something all of his adult life, teenage adult life, that he probably will never get over. We couldn't get over it. We just watched the movie. Okay. So for her to even say that blows my mind. I happen to like Deelishis. I think she's a beautiful girl. Mm-hmm. I don't know much about her personality really, but I did hear stories about her first. I don't know if she married the guy or not, but her daughter's father. The same thing was being said in that situation. He had a lot of money and they called her a gold digger in that situation. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe she is a little bit of a gold digger or just expects to be treated like, an old school woman. Old school women wanted to be, they were allowed or afforded, I should say, to be stay-at-home mothers. They didn't have to work. They had extra money to spend. That's the kind of situation that she may have wanted. And it's nothing wrong with that. I thought the matchup was weird to begin with, and to be honest with you, when I first saw it, sis, I felt gold digger. She say she not a gold digger though, boo. She's a platinum digger, like Lisa Ray. Lisa Ray say she don't dig for gold, she dig for platinum. And I say that if you're going to dig, if that's what you like doing, dig for the platinum.
Come on now.
I'm just saying.
Now, come on, somebody. Tracy, what are your thoughts?
When that girl said my legal mate left me, I hollered. I freaking hollered. I was like, not my legal mate. Yeah, she was like, my legal mate. I was like, not your your legal mate. But even them on Marriage Boot. Did y'all watch them on Marriage Boot Camp?
I didn't. I needed to watch that. I still got to watch that.
So they was on Marriage Boot Camp, and it gave that, she was controlling the relationship, and he wanted certain things, and he didn't want to do a lot of the things that she wanted to do, but she was delicious. So he went along with and did a lot of the things that she wanted to do that he didn't really want to do. It was just this weird dynamic between them the entire time. And she had like issues with their sex life and stuff like that. It was just this weird thing the entire time. So when this came out and it was like, oh, they're splitting up, I was like, well, that isn't shocking based off of kind of what we saw on the show. And I know the show isn't all of it. There's other things to it. But it was a very interesting relationship dynamic.
What did you want out of them sexually, Tracy? I'm curious.
More.
I didn't watch it, so I want to
more.
Okay, like
she
more.
More.
That's it.
More. Yeah, she wanted more. All the more.
Okay.
And yeah.
You sound like a little bitch.
There's no way that he was handling that properly. There's no way. I saw them dancing one time, and I was like, yeah, he has no clue what to do with it.
I was like, not to be funny, but I was like, there is a certain tact that you need to do when you go on national TV and tell everybody that your black husband ain't giving you what he's supposed to give you, and like it was in my mind. I was like, does he take little blue pills and he didn't have the pills and the pills not work? What is going? Like it was just real vague and weird and kind of like, that seems very interesting. I mean, I wouldn't have got on national TV and said it in the way that she said it. There was probably a more tactful way to say it, but it just seemed real interesting. I was like, oh, this is interesting. So was I surprised when they said it was getting a divorce? No, but I need to see where she's gonna be doing her tell-all at, because that is what I want to see. I want to see this tell-all that she's supposed to be doing.
I want to see that too. I was just gonna say, what you telling, boo?
I don't know, but I need to see it.
So I didn't know they was married. See, I don't even follow people like that. I didn't know he was married, and I didn't know she was married. How long they was married?
It's been a little over a year, maybe.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's not been 2 years for sure, because I just remember seeing their wedding photos, because Candy was in the wedding and a whole bunch of other people. Now I'm gonna tell you, I follow Deelishis on IG because I like to see the little TikTok skits that she does as that little boy with the big ass head on the Jason Banks comedy. Yeah. She be doing his skits. And that is hilarious when she redoes that. That's the only reason why I watch her, because it's only so much of prancing around, sucking in a stomach, sticking out of ass that I can see. I mean, we've seen it.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, but we didn't know they had a recent, like a year or two documentary of them getting out and being free and had a settlement and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that's what she married him for and nothing like that. I don't know what was going on. I didn't know they was together and anything. But for someone who's been in jail for the majority of his life to get out to be an acclimate in the world. I mean, if Black interest is that he wanted sex all the time, what's the sex thing? I don't know. Maybe he probably wouldn't want sex all the time because he's been in prison for a long time. So maybe he wanted sex all the time. But I don't know. But it just, I don't know. He just been out. He just getting ready to get his freedom. So it is enough adjustment and acclimation of him getting there. So maybe should have waited a little bit till he got himself together to know what's going on, because it's been different times. He's been in since the early 90s, right? So now it's like, now it's a whole different game. There's more technology, there's more stuff going on, stuff like change. So maybe you should give him a chance. And you said it's a childhood experience of trauma. Yes, a lot of us who read the Central Park 5 case, who knew about that, knew this was a traumatic thing. And he was accused of doing something to a woman that he didn't do. So maybe that could be in his mind too, and all that stuff. So it's a lot of things going on who got out. So maybe they should have just waited and see if he got more help and realizing they get married, they be better. Because after a year of being married, that's kind of like a fail, because you don't want to get a divorce after a year. So it's like, so I don't know. I don't know more about the store situation. I'll just hope they're both the best. But I hope he does get more help and everything. And I don't know what her intentions was or not like that, or what their intentions were getting married together. But I think that it probably was doomed, because I think they both were suffering. Well, more than him was going to do a lot of things when he just got out, and it just had to be adjustment. And that's all I have to say. I don't have much to more.
Baby sis, you think she was gold digging?
Yes. The only reason why I say that is, like Tracy said, like that message she put out on Instagram, my legal partner, bitch, that is your husband. You could have said my estranged husband, my soon-to-be ex-husband, or you could have just said my husband. No, you are from Flavor of Love season 2. You was gold digging then when you had your tongue halfway down that reptilian cretin's.
Oh my God!
You remember all of us used to watch that, because that's when I was staying up there with y'all. You remember me, you, Mama?
Yes. Yes, that was our thing Sunday night.
Our thing was Flavor of Love.
But yeah, no, she gold digging. She gold digging from way behind, and she over here trying to be like, well, how can I be a gold digger if he's filing for divorce?
That don't mean
how many other men filed for divorce from their gold digging wives, and most of them are ended up 6 feet under because they didn't do it quick enough.
I don't know what he was married before. How long he was married before Deelishis?
I don't know how long, but yeah, I do know that he was in a relationship before. I didn't know he was married before, because he got out.
So
I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't looking for no broke nigga.
So Raymond did. So Raymond did 5 years in prison from 14 to 19.
Say that again.
So he did 5 years in prison from 14 to 19.
Okay.
Is what he actually did. Now let me go and find out about his first wife. Please hold.
Okay, but think about it was a traumatic event too, because 14 or 19 for something you didn't do, and you're a 14-year-old, that gotta be traumatic, and nobody can.
He was a longer time than that. I don't know. Maybe I was.
No, it was
No, Corey got 15 years. So Corey,
Corey
they
got
all got different amounts of time. So he got 5.
I'm gonna I still agree with Sis and Tracy, because I do feel like she was digging. I won't say gold, I want to say clout. And her pattern has been clout digging. He don't have to have the actual liquid cash for her. It's not necessarily that, it was just the fame. So I remember finding out about him and her around the same time that I watched the documentary. So I was able to say, oh, Deelishis is with this the guy she with is this guy. But at the time, I didn't hear about that before I watched the documentary. That was, around the same time I ended up watching it. I think I was a little late, but I wasn't that late watching the documentary. Right. So it was around the same time. To me, it felt like some type of clout thing. Tracy, you said how she addressed him as her, what she say, legal spouse, whatever. Partner. Yeah. I saw that tension in the beginning when I told y'all that one time I saw them dancing. It was a TikTok video, Momo sis. It was a TikTok video. She was dancing in front of him and she bent over and put all that on him. And it was just he looked uncomfortable. And at this time, they were supposedly married. So yeah, maybe he could be shy for the camera, but I don't know. I expected a little bit more comfortability with him. He looked uncomfortable. I felt like she was acting the way she bent over and put it on him. It just didn't feel natural, and I actually did, to be honest with y'all. I kind of wanted this to be a love story. I really did.
I think she saw this as a transactional opportunity and a little bit of idol worshiping going wrong.
So I got the ex-wife stuff.
I feel like she did love him, but yes, I did see it as being an opportunity as well. Because she don't really have nothing else going for her other than the fact that she's very beautiful. But all the TikToks that I see, BK's Empress just said it. Whenever they're in a TikTok together, he always looked uncomfortable. He always looked like he don't want to be there. He just looked like, he seemed like the type of nigga that if I'm begging my nigga to be in a TikTok with me, he like, man, come on, let's just do it. Like, not that he really even want to be there. He's just doing it because I'm making him do it. He always looked like that. Well, what's the tea you got on the wife, Tracy?
Yeah, what's the tea on the first wife?
Oh, so his first wife was with him right after he got out of incarceration. His longtime girlfriend stayed with him for multiple years. They had a daughter together. They got divorced in 2014. So they were together a good little while. So,
Trauma, yeah. He needs somebody that's gonna work with him. Exactly.
Okay, so he just got out. He was with the first wife. Like he got
that
out.
Means
he jumped into another one after that. Okay.
So that means he filed for divorce when the documentary crews were coming in and wanting to, hey, let's document whatever happened back then, and then let's document your life now. And then he's like, oh, a chance to get some new booty.
A big one, a humongous one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mexico. Booty made in Mexico.
He got that settlement money because that settlement money didn't really happen too recently. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, y'all, that's it. That's all that we have for tonight. I only had 3 would you rathers for tonight. Not nothing too bad. Okay. Mizzle, are we still doing Johnson's Cabaret tonight when we get off? We was on here for a minute. I mean, I'm still down to watch.
Yeah, I'm still doing it. I will just go do that.
Okay. We're gonna drop Mizzle's Discord.
By the way, he divorced his wife the same year he got his settlement money. Just saying.
Like, what did I say? What did I say?
And that's what he got with Deelishis afterwards? Oh, child.
What did I say? It's always about the money. He seemed like, and I didn't even look. There are people out there who's like, I'm only with this person until I get some money. Once I get some money, I'm gone. That was him. And clearly it's still him. It might be Deelishis too.
She still got, Gravity has not pulled all of that silicone and fixed a flat down just yet.
Well, and you know what? Because gravity can't do nothing that a surgeon's hand can't fix.
That's what I'm saying. That part right there. My first would you rather that I have, y'all. Now, would you rather have $200,000 today or $2 million in 2 years?
I could wait the 2 years. I could wait the 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago, just like that. And look, it'll come just in time. My kids will be right enrolled in private school. Their schooling is paid for. What? Oh yeah, I could wait. Oh, then I can go ahead and file for divorce. And then when the 2 years is up, then all that money's mine. I ain't got to share it.
If you know ahead of time, sis. Ooh, child.
You gotta plan this shit out.
I can't take her.
What y'all gonna do?
I think I could wait to tell the 2 years. I mean, I don't got that much money now, so I was like, listen.
I was just thinking that too.
I said, I can wait another 2 years to get the $2 million.
I'm broke now. I can wait 2 years. I'll be broke in 2 years too. I'm good.
Yep, I would spend the 2 years planning what I'm gonna do with that $2 million, child. That way, by the time I get it, we ain't even gotta think about it. It's off to the races. Mm-hmm.
Off to the races.
Oh, look,
Tracy,
I go into work.
Tracy, you need money now. You can wait.
Listen, as much as I need money now because tuition is kicking my behind, I feel like I can hold off for 2 years. Yeah, I can hold off for 2 years. I can hold it. I can hold it.
Off for 2 years. Crab legs on me.
I'm going into work every single day, and I'm like, 2 years. Here's my 2 year notice. And every single day from now on, I'll be like, oh, I can't wait. 365, 364, 363, 362. F y'all. Yeah.
If you had to do, I don't know if I asked it before, but I'll ask it again. If you had to do one sexual position for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I think you did. Let's see.
For the rest of your life.
I got my answer. Y'all ready?
Go ahead.
Bend me over.
Face down, ass up. Face down, ass up. Face down, ass up.
What y'all got?
But I'm singing the song. You already know what I got.
You same way. You gonna be face down there. Okay. Tracy,
bend over. I'm right there with the rest of the ladies.
We've been through this before, sissy. Pull my hair, slap my ass. I need my arms behind my back.
But
sis.
This though, if you are a missionary, that is the question. Was if you had to, Brittany said I missed the question. If you had to do one sexual position for the rest of your life, what would it be? If you're a missionary, you can put your legs a lot different ways. You can still choke your partner can still choke you.
You get romanticism.
You can get romantical with it.
You can't get romantic from the back. You got to get creative.
Here and then the other one right here. You can be a whole. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but sis, we did the whole romantic thing in the beginning. I ain't got time for that.
You don't got time.
Right. I'm 42. Me and you.
No.
We right here. I ain't got time for that.
Brittany, I want to see. I got to see.
No. Yeah, I'm not.
No.
I would say out of two things, I would say the
I want to see
stomach one, or I say the missionary. Or if I'm hitting it, I say probably doggy style. I do like that.
I need my hair pulled. I need my ass slapped. I need to be choked. I need
knock the hell out. You put a stack of nickels in the sock and knock her ass out. She is gonna turn on.
I need my arms pinned.
Don't love it.
Maybe it would depend on the dude. So if it was a real romantic type of dude, then maybe I could go for missionary. But if it's a thug, then I need to go.
I don't want. I ain't got time for that. Romantic shit is good for birthdays and holidays.
If it was like, let me see. There ain't too many rappers I find attractive like that.
Not no more.
Not no more, child.
Right.
Unless you want to keep calling everybody the babies, or little babies, or little Uzis.
I don't need no babies. I'm 41. I don't need no babies.
I done seen what Nelly working with, so we can move on to the next one. I mean,
No, little Fizz had me dead.
Little Fizz
why y'all
he
broke my heart
every time.
Fizz broke my heart.
I want to get Mario
Mario Coin. And you can't even knock it out your box. You gotta look for it.
All right, y'all. The very last one I have, and I don't remember if I need to start writing these down and keeping the paper. Would you rather, for the rest of your life, have sex completely blindfolded to where you can't see it, or with your hands tied behind your back the entire time?
Yes, both.
For the rest of your life, which one?
Both. Yes.
She said both.
See, ooh, we gonna need a buzzer, 42. Me and you, I'm right there, both. Give me both. Give me both.
If I answer realistically, I would say blindfolded. I would enjoy the senses, using my senses. Yes.
I don't want to see but feel.
Yes.
I am
yeah, Method Man is missionary all day because I got to see all that. I need him to show me.
Actually, yeah, Joseph. Method Man, I'll do you. Okay, but no, we're not talking about Method Man.
Yeah, blindfolded or handcuffed for the rest of your life when you do
it. Method.
Oh, girl, yeah.
I don't need my hands for real. I don't. So go ahead and tie up my hands. And plus, I'm the type of psycho bitch. If I can't do something, then I'm gonna want to try to do it more. So,
Brittany, the question was for sex. Would you rather be blindfolded the entire time or have your hands tied behind your back the entire time for the rest of your life when you have sex? If you had to pick one,
I said blindfold.
Sequoia said with his face in the place.
Yes.
This one I'm talking about. I just need it all.
Listen, I'm gonna go with Mizzle on this one, and I'm gonna take the blindfold for $200, Alex.
Yeah.
I need my hands. I need my hands.
I know. I need my hands, Tracy.
Yeah,
I already know what you're thinking about because I'm thinking
I need my hands
too. That's why I like to get my nails. Yeah, I'm just.
Oh, that white look good on you, sis.
Thank you, girl. Anyways, that started. All right, y'all. We are about to go over to Mizzle's Discord. If y'all are not following Mizzle on his Discord, there is his number right there. Also, make sure you are subscribed to his YouTube, as well as following him on IG and Twitter, as well as Alki Queen. Make sure you are following her on the TikToker, as well as the IGers and the YouTube. And make sure you holler at your auntie. You know, like, comment, subscribe, share, holler at me on the IG as well as the Twitter. And if you're feeling so kind, the Cash App is right there. Okay, y'all, we're finna get up out of here. Y'all could have been doing anything else for Sunday night. I appreciate y'all for coming here. Kick me with the fam. Shout out to Miss 42 for gracing us. It's been a minute.
Miss my baby.
I love it. I love to hear your input. I love your insight. Miss 42 is my big sis, and we love you so much, big sis.
Oh, thank you. I love y'all too.
Joseph sounded a little scared, honey.
Oh, Mizzle. Wait. Let me twerk it.
Twerk it.
Yeah.
I love y'all. Appreciate y'all going over. Give Mizzle a few minutes. We finna go over and watch us some hoes. We finna watch us some Jocelyn's Cabaret. Okay.
Did you already watch it this time?
Let's go ahead and get up out here. Over in Mizzle's. Listen. I have to do research just to let y'all know. Watch. Get over there now. Okay? Even if you got to go sit on the Discord, leave it on your phone or your computer just to be ready. You want to watch tonight's episode, okay? You want to watch it with us. Trust and believe. Okay. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And we will see y'all next week, Sunday, for Real Queens Real Talk with a gentleman's perspective. We missed you, Sir Neale. We will see you next Sunday, Sir Neale. Bye.
All right, now it's time to get up. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here.
Good night, guys.
We'll see y'all next Sunday. Real Queens Real Talk.
See you, Mizzle. See you.